favor. Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We may have found out our European champions earlier on in the week, as we saw Failer Esports toppled by SDCK for their third title. However, we have a big match for you tonight as it decides who is going to be participating against those behemoths next season. It is, of course, the Division 1 final. In one corner, we have the winners of the semi-final that we saw last week, Weedcake Sellers, with some experienced Premiership talent in their lineup. But they come up against the top seeds, hlpugs.tf, with the winner going through with a guaranteed spot for Season 18 Prem. I'm CeeJaey and I'm joined by Wiethoofd on the production and Domaytoe as my co-caster. Domaytoe, this is a clash of the titans for Div 1, right?
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, CeeJaey, and to be quite fair with you, I always kind of appreciate sometimes the Div 1 finals or just the runners up to the Prem division. That is a bit more sometimes, because I feel like it can definitely be closer, and I feel like these new kids on the block have sometimes like strategies that are not so set in stone, so a bit farther away from the meta and stuff like that. So I definitely think Div 1 has its own type.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, we take a look at the table quickly. I'm sure Wiethoofd is going to work his magic and get that graphic up for you. Doctors of Mediocrity, La Maison des Putains, Tourette's Briscola Club down in fourth, almost making the playoffs. Victory Road, we saw losing that semi-final. Weedcake Sellers there in second, but hlpugs.tf only losing a golden cap loss. Their only defeat all season, 9 victories out of 10 maps, which is pretty strong indeed. Overwhelming favourites coming into this. We take a look at the pick bans, and as the higher seeds, they had the choice of who went first, and to get the decider, they decided to ban Steel, whereas Weedcake Sellers banned Gully Wash, taking away the only 5 CP map in the rotation. They've picked Badwater, which is going to be the first map tonight, whereas hlpugs picked Warm Tick and Product, taking the 2 Koth maps as their map choices. We're going to take a look at the rosters, and I'm sure Wiethoofd hopefully can get them up on the game, but I'm not actually sure about the rosters. I'm going to take a look at them in game instead. And Domaytoe, do you want to start us off with Weedcake Sellers? Who's going to be playing for them tonight?
A lot of Germans. That is already that off the blocks. That is why I do the roster runner. We have Spence. That is on the Scout class. Have been seeing him a lot around for the last time and like playing in Highlander. So I'm pretty sure he is just pounding on Scout. This is Sixes class, genuine one with DM. Then Beast on the Soldier class. Pretty good Soldier as well, like just DM wise. Sis on Pyro. I really have good memories because he also plays hlpugs. You know, maybe that is what is giving them insight into the other team, because they are literally named hlpugs. He has a really good protective work on the Pyro class. Then Murphy, the first German domain, he does do a lot of damage in damage numbers, obviously. Then Extra Solar on the Heavy class. That's heavy. I'm pretty sure he does a lot of damage as well. Then Zamperoni, I'm sorry, that's another German on the Engineer. Then Bug824 or Bug numbers or just Bug on the Medic class, probably trying to out-heal all those numbers that their players get inflicted on. Then we have Denkra, another German, hello, on the Sniper class as well, just genuine, honestly, pick class for the Germans. And then we have Spire ending the list as we do go into the setup right now, so the other team has to wait as take us away, CeeJaey, in this first kind of re-round.
Yeah, I mean, we do have hlpugs starting on the blue. They'll be attacking first, trying to set the time as we see Kazuki and Demos go in there. Lots of damage going down, but none of it actually onto Buck. And Streno's just hiding on the corner. And he's going to get rumbled there. I don't know whether he's TFK. No, he's just waiting, just being patient. And yeah, we do see those suicides come in. Looking at Psycho, the spy, he's going all the way to spawn, taking down that teleporter, which is of course the meta now for the spies. Do that boring old job of taking down the teleporter because the respawn time or the travel distance is so long for this first point. But Murphy with the 6 takes on Streno. Kazuki's trying to go in and actually get some damage down onto the teleporter of all things, but doesn't actually get close to Buck. I don't think Buck's taken a lick of damage yet. And we do see Austin nice and safe in the spawn with 100%, but no luck anywhere else. Nuke Dracula is dead at the moment, just respawns. So hopefully for some sniper action coming in. Actually, Austin's out now, Domaytoe. I mean, They're not even going to wait for a force.
After the first suicide wave, they just realized that they couldn't get the force, so now they're pushing just head-on into the Pyro. Pyro versus Pyro, fantastic. They don't even have to Uber here on the defensive phase. That is what happens if you push into a Pyro that's just gonna reflect your way. There comes the headshot though from Nutricola. He's just getting all the space on the left side. There comes Psycho onto Dankra. Murphy dies as well. Zamperoni as well, he's getting headshot. They're getting clumped off here. They're getting completely wrapped about from this hill, while Nutricola just had amazing shots on them, and now he actually going to get forced after they just lose like 5 players in that, so really fast first cap.
It's interesting because you get in that situation where you don't have to use your Uber on the defensive side, and you're just kind of like, okay, we'll just chill back. But then they played so many players, they've had to use their Uber really, really late here, which means that Austin has about a 50% advantage over Buck at the moment. And they've already given up second. Nutricola really far forward, just watching those sight lines. The spawn is locked down by Demos, so we're just going to be waiting here, and it is going to be a third hold from Wheat Cake Seller. It's going to be a pretty fast time for those first 2 points, and third point is where you're going to get most of your time, Domaytoe. I mean, they're just going to chill here and hope this is going to be where the giant share of the time is going to be made for their hold, right?
Is that my microphone? Because I'm getting screamed at from Wiethoofd because I'm apparently screaming way too hard at the audience. It is basically, the second point is probably going to get kept out. I'm not even in the server, but I can also say, by the way, on the first point, just quickly, why does a spy need to go on the spawn and just be there and then have the suicide work there? But I'm rejoining the server, fantastic. Right now they are already taking this aggression into the third point, just on the brink of it. Okay, no, actually, they have abandoned it, and
The Uber went really bad. I mean, they dropped 5 players, I think it was, in that Uber. Buck actually didn't have the Uber when they were pushing in and gets it now. So he's at 100%, and that was just monumentally bad when it comes to Ubering in with an advantage onto third. They just didn't really get any focus onto anything. So now We Kick Sellers a chance to stabilize him. We do see kind of a suicide coming in from Demosh. Gets some kind of surfs around, and Buck took some damage there. I mean, how do you feel about suicides on this point, Domaytoe?
Well, on this point, it's kind of really good in essence to have suicides. The main problem is, like, it's good to have successful suicides, because the issue is it's really hard to actually have a successful suicide wave, because there is, like, not so much you can do. You see there, like, they tried to take Boiler and stuff like that with their Sniper and with their Pyro. They both died. But you're just so strong on these defensive positions. It's really hard. Like, you can really only jump from Boiler or something, but you're getting, like, watched a ton. So there's definitely like way easier points to just have your suicides working. As I said before, like on the first point, I don't like this new spy meta where you just go to the spawn. You can literally kill the teleporter on the first point. I don't know why these players are doing that this way. There comes the Uber now though from Trax.
Yeah, they're coming in, but you see Buck uses it much later, which should be to his benefit, as Extra Solar just drops down. He's going to lay a smackdown on a bunch of players there. Kazuki's going to try and jump up here, but gets actually takes down Bees, so wins the soldier battle. He jumps away because he realizes he's not going to win that battle against Extra Solo, revved up, back on the high ground. But Murphy did die there, finished off by Sun, of all people. The engineer getting the frag onto the demo. Gives a nice lol in chat, and Murphy responds with a smiley face. So I guess I missed a memery there. I guess I missed a funny kill, but we're back to where we started and just chilling on third as We Kick Sellers looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Psychological warfare, that is where it's at. The main problem is now that it just resets for the defensive team. The Ubers are out of the equation. Austin does split a little bit faster. He's on 50% advantage right now. It's both on Uber miniguns, obviously. They have Dankra on this top right position on the defensive side, just getting buffed by Buck, so there's nothing really happening. Fire is still keeping this teleporter down, so they are just trying to soak this up when they push in, because when you get the trades, then it's basically not a trade in the offensive phases advantage, because, well, you have to walk a long way. Strono, though, jumps on top with the power jack, with a speedy speed buff onto the balcony, gets a frag. Extra Solar dies. Murphy as well, CeeJaey.
Yeah, they're coming in, they're making a push from Boiler. This is really well played, as they've managed to get in quite deep without using the Uber, so they're not going to have to use it quite late. It's only a level 1, and actually the defensive Uber comes out slightly earlier, as they've dropped about 5 players, including Zamp. Zamperoni is dead, so no NG, no Sentry is up, and I think that is going to be here for We Kick. So as they realise the peril of this situation, they cannot hold on any longer. Fire with a cheeky backstab onto Strono, taking down his counter. Murphy with the pipes! takes down 2. Another one with the sticks. That's a 3k from that man on the respawn. And actually, I think they may be able to re-push this. Austin and Divi and Demos are trying to fight this, but they have the high ground. But I think Extra Solar is going to try and just bully them out. And a nice reflect from Sis there is going to take down KritzKast. I'm going to say that hlpugs have to be careful here because they could start losing players.
Yeah, but they have to spread out now. They have to actually use the players back. It's what they're doing. There's some heavy dropping down onto the Pyro. He doesn't notice him, and the heavy dies to a reflector. Like this Pyro is doing, the Pyros are doing so much. Like KritzKast got destroyed on the defensive phase there. Murphy dies on the front as well. I can't actually get analytical because KritzKast just clawing this back with a short stop. Not so short after all, killing Buck as well. Just getting so much pressure. It's only the Scat up right now. It's going down. They have spawn wave in 2 seconds, but the offensive team is already on the spawn. Zemp dies as well. They're just killing all these players. It's probably going to be a quick wrap-up round as Spence is trying to make something work here from the spear area. Doesn't get anything though, as they're just kind of crawling this in.
Yeah, I mean, they have this 100%. Austin still has the full charge. He's getting spammed a little bit. Not decided to use. Buck is actually forces the medic. A bit of medic on medic action there. And Buck regroups with the rest of his team. He's got Zamp versus CeeJaey there. And he's going to surf away, but it's not going to be enough as the car goes in. 7-11. And BalbertDickens look comfortable on third there, but you know, a bit of a misplay, not focusing the point, trying to rehold the area, but we're not with enough players. And this gives me time now, Domaytoe, to go through the hlpugs roster. This team that is sort of what dropped 2 points all season in Division 1. So on Scout we have tagged as CU, that is CeeJaey, the former Prem 6's Scout. We've got KritzKast, I think it is. I think it's pronounced Kazuki or Kazook. I say KritzKast, yeah, I say KritzKast. He has Premiership experience with Lucrosa in most recent seasons. Strano, a former Open Squad and Failure Esports. He was a Prem finalist with Failure Esports a few seasons ago. Demos used to play for Super Dickman's Juniors, who are of course the next Prem team. Divi on their heavy, plenty of experience there. Sun on the engineer with a cheeky GG lag in his name. Austin on the medic, who I believe is the team leader. Nutricooler, who's been around for a long time, I believe, but I don't think he's quite played Prem yet. He's on the sniper, while Psycho, who I think is the same Psycho who played for BalbertDickens in Prem and maybe High. So, you know, lots of experience on that team. Maybe more Prem experience, arguably, there on Wiethoofd, but they are the ones who have set off a nice, fast time for Wiethoofd to beat now. They have to push the car all the way to last in the next 7 minutes. Domaytoe, do you think they can do it? Or,
well, I think so. And Nutricula, though, won the first sniper battle there against Denkra, and they tried to work this in right now. It's a bit slowish on the card time because Zemp just died. And now I'm officially into the server, ladies and gentlemen, because I have worked my way around laptop sound options. So now we can go. Before that, by the way, what you said, Nutricula has played an awful lot of time already. Yeah, definitely. So he has the experience to pull his weight, as we saw in the sniper battle. As the jump comes in, though, this time coordinated, like Murphy dies and everything, but they do get the force out. The card is still a slight bit back, but right now it is 100% against, well, 10%, and there come the headshot. So the main problem still is they have to cover a lot of distance into this defensive position, but yeah, should look, in theory, look good on the offensive route.
Yeah, they have the they have this big advantage now, which we didn't see for hlpugs earlier on. We didn't see that advantage happen. The big woman from KritzKast is going to get the force. He's going to die. Teleport has gone down. Dispense has gone down. But those aren't the frags you want to get with an Uber. Austin is dodging for his life. Sis is trying to flare gun some people down, and Sun has gone down. There is no NG. There is no sentry. But Psycho running the ambassador gets the headshot onto Murphy. They're starting to clean up. Wiethoofd here, they're 3 down. They are in a passive position. Zamp's trying to get aggressive. He's going to die to that detonator, and there we go. Not really getting the ground or the picks they want, Domaytoe. I mean, getting the NG and the sentry gun's huge, but you need to get other things like the demo, the heavy, even the medic.
Well, there come the Spy finally getting the sniper frag. And they get forced as well. Austin went down to like 20 HP or something, so this actually gets forced out. They have to watch out here. There comes the flash onto the soldier. He's into the spawn. Gets deleted though from Extra Soul, and they're just still fighting this on the front. Spence is trying to chase them. I hope this gets a bit slower now because there's so much to analyze, but never mind. Divi dies as well. There comes a big jump from Demos just onto the front, spamming them out of the second already, and they're probably not going to stay aggressive here because you can just get completely clumped up, and this is definitely not what you want on the defensive route because you have to get to the third point. And there comes this big jump from Beast. Murphy dies to a pipe on the front. Demos on a 5k.
Sis. Oh, I'm sorry, but Sis there with the reflex absolutely saves his medic. I mean, Buck's got this huge Uber advantage, and it's Kazuki who goes in for the bomb and hits one rocket onto Buck, because but Sis reflects the rocket so like at point blank range and stops his medic from taking any more damage and having to force that Uber. Austin is going to catch up there, and Nutrikilla gets the Pyro down, but that is really important, and they're just going to go for a trade.
Yeah, let's see. There comes the early sticky onto Austin. He doesn't use though. He does use now, and they have way better because they're soloing onto a Pyro while Buck had to flash Murphy and Exo Solar early on. So Beast dies in the back end to Divi, and they're still trying to fight for this forward position. They have to watch out though, because they can get spammed out here, but they're actually holding their position quite nicely. On the Wiethoofd side right now, they're not really getting pressure. The defensive team isn't kind of having the positions and everything, and actually that works out in the end so far, as they're just getting this cap time. Strono doused as well. Now comes the aggression from the defensive team, and they're actually going to clean them up. Buck does live though.
That's probably the bonus there, and that's the difference between re-pushing third. You see the difference between the two teams there. Wiethoofd was trying to do this earlier, didn't quite get it done. But this time,
Kazuki jumps from Boiler Helado, as the cool kids say, and he just kills the medic there from Buck. Like, I don't know, he just jumped completely in for, not for free, but just 6 jump, honestly. Now that hands 100% to the defensive team.
That is huge, and it was looking so good for them, wasn't it? You know, they had this momentum going. They still got 3 minutes to carry this over to last. But now they have this big Uber. Look how close the cart is. I mean, Fire's trying to go for the cheeky cart cap with the spy every now and again, but the cart is slowly rolling back now, and they have to be careful. Otherwise, if it rolls down too far, you know, you start to get a little bit frustrated, as Murphy with the pipes is going to take down Kazuki this time. We'll see what they do. They're just kind of poking and prodding here, really, Domaytoe, and maybe just waiting for a pick.
They actually have to take ground without taking a lot of damage. That's the issue to this point, which is what, by the way, what failed kind of their initial first point. And we have to watch though, as they're just trying to eke this forward here. There is a big defensive Uber right now, just going onto this card, flashing them off. Spence dies there in the back end. They're still not losing a lot of players though on the Wiethoofd, so they can just keep this pressure up. Spam out Sukas from Bees on the still cheeky position. She's still on top right. Fire comes in.
Big stab, and he shanks Demosh as well. He backstabs the medic and then just shanks Demos, and that is medic and Demo down, and that is 100% on Buck as well. He's taking a bit of damage, but he's not used. He's healing up Murphy. I'm trying to look at the time. 2 minutes to go. They've got 2 minutes to take this into last. Australia's trying to get some damage. Nice rifling. Extra Solar again. Extra Solar's just going to be looking at his soldier and go, please stop shooting rockets at the Pyro. You keep getting me killed. But the Uber is used. They're just going to push this in. Look how weak Austin is. He has to run up a spiral, but he's got no help. He's not going to be able to get out there. He's going to be really struggling to regroup with anyone here. And they're just cleaning up house Tomato. There's 4 up for wheat cake sellers.
Yeah, they only have to get Divi out of the map room. This is gonna be key here. He's just reigning superior right now. As he jumps out, yeah, probably couldn't have done anything else. There comes just this big suicide wave from Strono, from Kazuki, from the spawn. Now Murphy is away. He's getting so much stickies. It's 3v2 right now, but it's... Oh no, never mind, that's Demosh, because Murphy is on the card. He's going to cap it with his fellow. Wow, B is just capping it from the front, from the front basically, while the, well, defensive spawns came in from top left. So that's really clutch as well, just this aggression getting taken forward.
I'm sorry, I was just laughing at Zamperoni there, saying "not the bees, not the bees" in chat. As yeah, I mean, Bees pretty much won that for his team. I mean, Murphy did so much work in the build-up, getting so much damage out, but Bees jumping in at the end there just got that extra bit of damage he needed to get the frags, but also helped his team cap, and we're live already for this second round. There is no waiting. Both teams just want to get on with things. So yeah, first round on this first map does go to Weak Cake Sellers. Just a reminder, they did pick this map. This is a best of 3. hlpugs.tf. They go into this game as arguably the favourites, only dropping 2 points all season, and they did in fact have sort of the top seed advantage, picking 2 maps. But this first map is picked by Weak Cake Sellers, and they're just using the crits on defense here. You know, just putting some traps, some cheeky traps, maybe one in the lamp. You know, but yeah, that first round, best of 3 on BalbertDickens Domaytoe. This is an UGC. You play the whole hog. But I mean, did you expect Weak Cake Sellers to do that? I mean, do you think they can actually take this map 2-0? Because they look strong.
Yeah, they really look strong. the thing is, like, both teams played so aggressively all the time. Like, there's literally no breathing room, just full force, constantly going forward with the DM. What I saw is that if Wiethoofd sellers actually take their ground, like on the first push why they failed that initially was they didn't take proper ground, even though they had this full Uber ad, and then they didn't get hlpugs in from the left side. On the third point then, they kind of stayed in their positions and they didn't even get like fragged down or something. That just favors you on the offense because the card just gets pushed for free all the time. So if they just stand their positions, don't get outspammed by this huge damage from Demosh and Kazuki, what we have seen they can do, then it's definitely going to work out. But there comes the solo bomb from Beast, now a bit delayed from Murphy, doesn't get a whole lot onto us as the pyro gets juggled in. What is that class? Completely classless, some would say, but the card is still kind of far back, so this first suicide wave was unsuccessful.
A lot of people died there. That was the problem. I mean, the suicide wave is one thing, but it's about everybody else being a distraction too. Psycho was really aggressive as the spy and took down Denkra pretty much in the spawn, but you know, nothing got done there. So we do see you know, sort of just waiting, people getting into position, just waiting to be in a position to do some damage, or maybe make other players on the defense look at them so they can get close as these pipes are going over. Actually getting a bit of damage down onto the sentry. And we do see a big snipe there. Denkra taking down hlpugs, so no sniper for the defense. Maybe an opportunity to go for a different angle here.
Yeah, and the pyro came in with a lot of flame particles there onto the combo. Nobody did die though, that was the crucial part. Right now it's Murphy pushing this from the left side. Psycho's in position though. Denkra actually gets the snipe onto Sun, killing him there. Psycho dies as well, trying to counter him, so Denkra has complete free reign on the left side right now, which is basically you lose on the defensive phase because you just have so much pressure onto you. Though Sikas kills Murphy and there are just so many frags. Buck dies as well somewhere, so they can actually hold on to this.
It was Kazuki. I mean, like I said, going for a different angle. They decided to go for this far side, but that gives so much room for Kazuki to just come in for the bump and gets, I believe, the drop onto Buck there. So, I mean, +2's in chat, and we see Austin still at 100% here. So, you know, they're back, they're just kind of resetting things here, and the more this goes on, the more comfortable they're going to get. They're trying to dry push this now against the full Uber, let's not forget. And the teleporter is still up.
As a
the
pyro,
teleporter is still up.
As a medic, you're out fast though, so I don't actually disagree with that. The main issue is hlpugs is on a 5k, like he's developing such a strong position. He's right now battling with Denkra, getting shot, just no shot, no, what is that? No scoped, thank you. I'm not actually that favorable in snipers. There's just this pressure right now from left side favoring Denkra. They're trying to do this again. They have to watch out that they don't get bumped. Kazuki is in the position right now, and the flank is just watching from the left. They're just spamming them from the long angle. There comes Kazuki. Buck surfs all the way back, not to the beach, but to the spawn. hlpugs goes down. Denkra snipes him. So they actually have to watch out because now the ball is definitely in the court of the blue team.
Look at the car. Oh no. Sikas versus Spans now, 1v1. Spans is going to win it, and Spans is so close to getting the car. He's just crouched behind the car. Divi's actually had to get baited down there. He's going to get the frag. But yeah, this is not looking good for hlpugs. They've got a lot of time from that first point. Demosh is really aggressive. Sis, he's just bullying him. And Kazuki goes in for the bomb, but he's not going to get it. He's going to get Murphy, though. And that is pretty big for the follow-up on second point. You know, if hlpugs were differently inclined, maybe they would want to fight second, as there is no demo, but they've lost their demo as well. They have no spam from either soldier or demo, so they're just going to give it up. 3:14 though is nearly half the time it took Wiethoofd sellers to push the map in its entirety in the first round, and I liked what they were doing. It was just the execution. If you see it, Kazuki gets the bomb again. He's getting so much time, and he does get the force onto Buck. Austin's going to have 100% any second now. We do see Murphy going in for a bomb. He's jumping up top, trying to get some damage, but it's not going to do anything, Domaytoe. And now we come to this third hold, and I mean, they coped pretty well before, didn't they?
So first of all, the first push was kind of slowish, what you just said, but they had so much just advantages. What you just said, they also had like this full Uber ad because they just forced the defensive medic and didn't have their Uber forced, but then they just staggered around all the time. And I mean, now it's actually allowing the defense to get proper just defense up, obviously, and they lost Murphy, that was correct, but they could have just taken this pressure forward, but then they had completely like Shudder unwatched by Kazuki, just came out, forced them, and now though Denkra is getting a 7k, so he's actually opening up some flanks again. Buck is creeping up on this full Uber, like there's just so much going on. As Drono gets a reflect kill onto Spence as well. Extra Solo is so weak on the top left. They salvaged that nicely. They have to push the second point, the third point quickly, as you said. Like if they settle down here well, then it's definitely going to bite you. But if you manage to push it fast, then it doesn't actually matter that much that you took some time on the first point.
Yeah, they get a nice pick there. Denk's actually dominating Nutricula there. Gets him down with a body shot, and Extra Soda is just trying to push the cart as much as he can using the Fist of Steel, and that's really important. Getting it closer and closer means when an exchange happens, they can just be a distraction and have someone else push the cart. Spans again just resetting the cart, make sure it's not going to roll back anytime soon, and this is pretty smart play. They're just slowly edging it, and at the moment hlpugs not sure what to do as Kazuki goes in for the bomb, gets in behind, but just finds a mini sentry and doesn't really get anything done. Ubers are exchanged here, and nice headshot from Nutricula is going to take down Sis.
Kazuki bombs an Uber sniper and his medic, and there's still this pressure. No, Beast dies, never mind. Buck actually gets out, that was really clutch. What was important there, funnily enough, was a spy with a revolver. Psycho just completely shut down this soldier and out DM'd like NG close range, I think. So they had no backup whatsoever, the combo, so they didn't have any card time for free. So they just get completely wrapped about because it was only 3 players forward, and after that, then they died, and well, that was that push.
I mean, look how close the cart is. This is fairly successful, I would say. But it is rolling back now, and oh, there we go. They're losing players. Denkra's down, Murphy's down. Those are the kind of players who could make something happen, and this is where hlpugs starting to get a bit aggressive now. You know, they're walking forward, they're taking the space that's been given to them, and making sure no one's allowed to get that cheeky carp time that they were earlier. But Sun is dead. He dies to the Enforcer while carrying, I think, his sentry. I'm not sure how it happened, but there is no NG and no level 3. Like in the window, the level 2 is really far back, and that may be an opportunity for them to go for maybe a main push here.
They still have the mobile sentry, that is Divi. He is on a 10k, he's on a 10k. That is very interesting to see on the defensive heavy. There is this huge jump from Kazuki trying to get it cheeky once again on the strategies. Quite bizarre to see that happen, as now comes a kind of boiler push to just get all this pressure and freedom for Denkra, who's trying to snipe something from there. Only finds a bullet into his head. Nutricula getting revenge, actually getting another one onto Beast. He's going down into the respawn queue, and seeing that, interestingly enough, that Denkra did get his sniper duel a bit up again, because Nutricula was winning it early on, but right now they're kind of struggling onto this third point, which can be key to this map.
It is, and you just see this setup that we've seen the past sort of, I'd say, couple of years. This defensive setup where you almost bait your demo. As I say, that demo gets a nice Py-bun to fire there, taking down Spy. But you almost bait your demo and let them go forward, put up forward traps, get forward damage down, whereas your medic's really passive. Your medic is sort of more well protected, and you're allowed to get more buffs onto your sniper. And you know, it really does force the attacking team to use their Uber so much earlier that you can just hold on to that Uber and then sort of have a defensive Uber that is just so much more successful. Murphy goes down to the Wrangler, he's just trying to go forward and maybe go for some sort of play here, but just can't get close enough to get anything worthwhile. And this is where I start to think, you know, the thing people do, Domaytoe, and I'm sure you know this, having played sort of Spy and Medic, like, go for Boiler, which is what they're doing now. They've got Denker in Boiler, they've got Buck in Boiler, and maybe they're going to try and get for a pick, and maybe for a push from this doorway.
I'm also being on the receiving end of this, because what you just said, what I see is they have 100% on Buck, but they don't even feel comfortable just pushing this, because they don't know how to push this anymore. They had like 100% for like 15 seconds or something, and they decided to do a suicide wave with their soldier and their demo. That definitely does say something about them, because they just want to get early like picks, positions, advantages, but they don't seem to find them, because they're just trying to get something working. Right now the Fire gets the pick onto Nutricula. Shouldn't matter this much in the Uber itself. It does enable you to get all this ground floor, just get this card up. You don't need to use early. They get these on the top right. This is just the standard we're seeing right now. They're looking in really good shape. They do take some damage. That's the issue. Extra Solar goes down. They're just pressuring this in from tracks, getting a huge amount of cap time. Buck does get forced a bit low there, and there is this Uber exchange just on the tracks right now.
Yeah, they're exchanging, and this is looking better for Weak Excellers. They're just trying to get bodies onto the point, but that sentry's still alive. Fire takes on Nutricula again. The Denker has taken down the sentry. This could This could go really, really wrong for hlpugs if they don't start to get some frags. They get down the sentry, they get down Zam, but Strano's gone down. The car is tantalizingly close to the point here, and there's a bit of a passive hold going on. As they're going to walk for extra silent now on the Kazuki again.
This flank, I was just about to say, like, they win this easy. They have really good spawns, the defense is so passive, and then I saw this flank on the top right. I just saw Spence, like, hitting so much damage with his short stop onto medium range. Then Kazuki comes in from behind. They get the 70% Uber ad. There's right now Nitricula into Shadow, gets stabbed there, and Psycho gets the pick onto Bug from the respawn queue, so that just gives, like, 100% into the hands of Austin.
Yeah, I mean...
And he writes, okay, in chat, fantastic.
Yeah, obviously not happy with that, and they're just getting cap time at the moment, so they're going to be somewhat happy with this. I mean, they're going for the suicide, trying to go for Austin, but he's not taking sort of any damage that's going to really cause him to pop. And they do have a huge ad now, but the car is through choke. It's just at the top of that hill now. And what's the time? 9:31. We're definitely looking at a double-figure time here. For the entire map. If they push the entire map, they have 7 minutes on the round timer to do it, but it's not going to be a great time, Domaytoe, and that's already going to be playing on their minds, but they really just need to focus and see out the rest of this round.
The main issue is they just have to get their strategies up and actually be brave enough to push this, because right now they try to get like these early frags and stuff like that. Like, they try to make something work from map room. They got Nutricula stepped down in the kind of result of that. They did lose some players on the offensive phase, though. They have to watch out that they don't get pushed out because they have this player disadvantage. Right now they're just taking this balcony actually because the defensive team doesn't spread out as they maybe could because they had all these picks. Right now there's only Sisters denying so much on this
Buck's gone down.
Oh wow.
Buck went down.
It's just
I was going to say, guess who? And it was Kazuki. I think he was about 91, 92%. And... yeah, not a drop, but look at this. Everyone else is just running forward, and Austin is still alive with his Uber, but he's only got 3 players for company. And, you know, Buck is actually just walking in through the choke. It has to be careful, and they're trying to dry push this, but there is still an Uber for Austin, and they're just going to use it onto Demosh. They're just trying to get aggressive. It's a bit difficult. This is a little bit messy. Buck get the backstab.
No, Buck is dancing for his life right now. He's still surviving this, getting this, they're actually turning this around. No, never mind. Buck now dies to the Pyroclast. That was unfortunate. Demosh is on a 10k. Someone has to stop him. They're actually going... this looked for a split second there really good for the offensive phase as Spence gets clopped down there by Demosh, making it in 11k. Like, the dance is so good about, especially Buck. They actually could have kind of focused around him, but the main problem is after that, like, the spam classes just came in, then there was absolutely no grass to grow where all the spam came in, as there's right now a Spy trying to make something work from the tracks area. He does get spotted, gets piped, and that's a 12k.
Yeah, and we do kind of see a bit of a reset here. Austin on 75, Buck on 40. So, you know, it's an Uber ad for the defensive side, and as you see that, Bees comes in, goes actually for a bit of a distraction, and it's... oh, Murphy with the pipes! Did you see that? He lands them perfectly onto Austin. Bees does nothing. He's just a distraction. He's like, hey guys, look at me. And then Murphy is the one that does the damage, gets the medic pick, and Buck now has the advantage, and this is what we KritzKast were looking for. Now they have an opportunity to push this, and they also get Nutricula down Denkra with the headshot. This is huge.
Yeah, that was fantastic. By the way, I think Bees actually wanted to do something, but he just get completely reflected out of Strono. Then, I mean, Pyros, as they do, they just get excited over that. Then Murphy just comes in with double pipe. Right now, they're kind of struggling this Uber a bit. They get Demosh, that's really good, but not with the Uber itself. They're right now just clumped up on these tracks. Might actually favor them as they just all this ground. Bees is on the lower left spawn. That's a key winning part because he got the sentry gun. He's just causing so much distraction. They have to focus the scout though, because they're kind of allowing them to respawn and stuff like that. Like, now they're just coming in again from the spiral area, Strono and the scout that is, and now Austin is linking up with him. They may actually turn this around with the heals, with a spam, with a contra as well, and they actually clawed it out of their hands even though they had this full Uber ad.
It's that situation where everyone needs a roll. You're going to have people pushing the cart, The other people need to fight the remaining defenders who are alive. We also need to lock down those spawns, and they didn't lock down the spawns. They were fighting the three remaining survivors on the defensive side. They had a couple of people pushing, but there was no one really going for that those spawns. As Fire just cloaks and takes down that sentry from Sun that was in the Lenny spot there. So you know, maybe things getting a little bit desperate here for hlpugs. They are in sort of an uber advantage situation here, but just look how much space WeakXL have. They've taken the high ground. Nutricula goes down to Denker again, and Murphy's getting some great spam down. Divi is going to go down to that detonator. They should be able to drop down. Buck uses the Uber just in time to save his players. They've lost extra solar, but this is not looking good.
Well, interesting passage of play that just went down. Like they're just trying to fight for this high ground. Histrono gets a free flag onto Murphy. Definitely does enable them to actually get nothing at all, because they're right now they're climbing on the wall, on this card. But there comes Divi. He might actually salvage this. He's against a Pyro who has a medic on him, but he's just going to get on this card. They're actually clutching this out of their hands again. Like they almost had it, but then again, just the spy comes in. Murphy's still on the top right spawn. Does stick out damage. There's still the spy on the card. Nutricula is solo. He pipes himself down on the card, on the spy. And now comes the Peroni. He's going to push it in and going to save my nerves finally. But this was just so messy, back and forth all the time from tracks. Then the other team played on the high ground. Then the other team played on the high ground, and they just got their DM classes in. But after that, an engineer came in and just completely eased my mind.
It was kind of, at the end there, it was a lot of solo plays. I mean, Murphy jumped in and did that thing I was talking about, locking down the spawns, but Fire was the only one trying to cap the point, and he did manage to sort of just push it a little bit further. And Zamp, you know, he's going to be the hero of the few seconds, I suppose, at the end of that round, actually getting the cap. But 15 minutes and 4 seconds, that is not the time you want. I mean, that's like 5 minutes past what I would consider a bad time. They're not going to be happy, and it's their map pick.
So first of all, CeeJaey, you said, I mean, obviously, like, hlpugs get, like, desperate on the last point to claw this back, but obviously it's the positive way of getting desperate. You just want to get out all the seconds, even though you know you already have an awful good time. But I don't know who has been in the receiving end of this, but the thing is now, you still have to cap the first point before having to push, like, 15 minutes for the rest of the map.
I think, like, the big reason that first point was so defendable for WeakXL, they got like 3 minutes and they're looking really strong, was because of that teleporter. They didn't take down the teleporter. That means those respawns come in instantaneously. You just go zoop back into the game. You take down that teleporter, which looks like Psycho is going to go for. As Demosh goes in for the sack, doesn't get any damage onto Buck, and no one else really followed in. Kazuki did, but came in from behind and just totally denied by that sentry. And Psycho is not gone for the teleporter, Domaytoe, so maybe they're going to go in for a bit of a sap play.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, like, but he's so far back, like, he went all the way back behind, and then the suicide wave came in completely without him, and then he actually didn't go for the telly. What is he doing? Is he shooting something right now? There comes the second suicide wave. Kazuki gets completely denied. No, I mean, they do get some damage onto Austin, but I don't know what Psycho's doing. Is he trying to revolver something from the back? I don't know. Just coordinate with your team. Sep stuff. This teleporter is still up as well. They have to spot out Strona here. They know he's there, but they kind of don't want to peek this because Nutricula is now on the top right. They try to just get all these advantages with their sniper all the time because it's kind of not working for them on the suicide wave. Yeah, I mean, it's just slowly getting kept forward. The teleporter does go down right now, and they do push from the tracks.
Yeah, the Ubers are exchanged, but it's this kind of tunnel push that I don't always agree with. They have taken down the sentry, and Divi manages to take down Murphy, and they are picking up a few frags here. It's starting to look better for them. He got some decent cap time as well, and Bees is doing the best he can to block it, but he's sandwiched by two gamers, and now it's Sikaz on the car. He's just going to get shot by a multitude of projectiles. Finally goes down, and this is looking okay for the defense, but not brilliant. But saying that, Fire gets the backstab onto Austin, and everyone else starts to melt away there. Kazuki goes down, and maybe, just maybe, WeakXL can hold on to first point a little bit longer.
Yeah, probably. Pretty sure they can do this. The problem is now, like, they have to focus on Nutricula. He's really weak on the left side. He is 40 HP. Just is scared of the no-scope there, very bravely of him. Sun does go down. Strona as well. They're losing their players a bit there, which is, well, not really an issue because they don't even have Uber yet, but you still want your players alive to just get all this pressure. They're trying to do something here. Kazuki and Nutricula both go down. Austin doesn't get forced. He still has the 70% advantage, and they're still trying to do something as the code slowly rolls back. They're still pressuring this in from the left side right now.
Oh, Denko goes down to the pipes. from Demosh, and as does Zamp. He's gone down as well, and this is not looking good. I think, yeah, they are deciding to give this up. Zam's sentry is still there, and actually kills 2 people who are trying to kill, he's trying to cap the cart, rather. So, you know, it does its job. Finally goes down, but that's a decent amount of time. I mean, that's what, 2.5 minutes at least on the first point alone. If they have that kind of momentum for the rest of the points, it's looking good.
Forward, like this is what I'm thinking, and this is how I'm screaming at my team when they're in this position, because you still have this 50% edge. They had the sniper down, they had the, spy down, they could have, I mean, they had decent aggression, but they could have almost trapped them out on the second point if they were even quicker. Fire goes down, they still have 40% advantage. They are aware of this, they are trying to push this from tracks right now. They have to watch out here, they're probably going to get forced. No, never mind, Dankra goes down. These dice as well, they get spells as well, they get so many picks, they still have the position, they have to watch out for extra solar on this top, and they're probably going to take this third just with this Uber ad push.
Yeah, so many players dying here for the defensive side. They do have the huge Uber advantage, but they're not going to be able to use it because they just don't have the players. I mean, the cart isn't quite there, so if they get maybe Spans and Murphy, maybe Sis into an Uber here, they can catch Austin out. They could reclaim third, but it's a big, risky play, and they get backstabbed there. Murphy down to Psycho, and yeah, not looking good. I mean, that's what, a minute? I'm going to say a minute and 10 seconds to go from first to third. You really want to get a lot of time on third, and they did not. Wiethoofd now have to hold the last point for, what, just under 10 minutes? Big ask.
Yeah, I mean, that's the positive route, you know, like they have 1 minute fewer than they would normally have because they just have been pushing so fast. And there's right now just this pressure onto extra solar, and there's just this gun having to be repaired on the tracks right now. Sukas dies, Sun dies as well. They can't make anything out of their flank classes. Pretty sure just some drive push, like to get something going. They didn't, but they do have the time. They do have an awful lot of time actually. Like they pushed so fast, they have 1 minute fewer just because of the map timer that is counting down. Yeah, but right now we have to see. Well, Demos gets backstabbed there, so that might just not be the instant push. So they might try to do another suicide wave or something. I mean, the thing is, you have so many options just to make it work, and the thing they are getting backed up as well is just the time they have.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to play with, and as the attacking team, the pressure obviously is on you. You have to cap. You can't just sit on your laurels and do nothing now. However, they've got so much time to play. They could beef another 2 or 3 pushes, and they would still have, you know, 3-4 minutes left, and that's still more than enough time. The cart is still up in the choke, and the Uber is going to be used here. They're just going to use it in. They've dropped Strono, and take a look at the demo flying through the air there. Actually does manage to survive for a little bit longer, but Extra Strono takes him down, and Buck didn't even use.
Well, that was interesting passage of play right there. I definitely do agree. Like, Murphy gets aggressive though on himself, like by himself, that is. Sukas claws that one out, gets a domination on the defending demo man. Yeah, you definitely have to cap this, and you shouldn't get too complacent with it. You still have to remember though that you just have so much time you can play from your like offensive positions that give you the advantages, that is faster respawn and everything, you know, like they got the demo man, means they can just walk in here right now, get all the spam onto the tracks. They do get the sentry gun, but Austin dies to a body shot there. So, well, that definitely does help, just helping to keep this 4th point with Buck having 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they did lose a lot of players. They lost Bees, they lost Extra Solar, he's down for another 15 seconds, and they lost Zamperoni. So no Zamp, no Sentry. They do have a teleporter there, but they don't have that bulk of a level 3 as Denkra takes down Demosh with another headshot. So, you know, doing pretty well at the moment, in decent positions, but Psycho is probably going to just uncloak and take him down. There we go. So no sniper for Wiethoofd any longer, but they do have their reinforcements back in line. Zamp with a level 2 sentry now, just moving around. Kazuki with the bomb, and he takes the drop. This man is just on Buck non-stop.
That's a +2 right there. They're just getting all this just aggression in here. I was just about to say, you got the sniper pack, you don't need to do risky plays, just take back and you can just chill there, spam them out, but then Kazuki just jumps in and, well, I've been doing this all game, I just kill everything. There comes the level 3 getting built in the face of Murphy. Austin dies to a body shot. They have to just have the sentry gun survive here. No, it's actually going down. Fire kills Sun as well. They do get some cap time here. Sukas is still fighting for it. The defensive team definitely does have the numbers right now. Psycho is still in, and they're just some scattered blue players right now. Divi does come in though from the map room, and they're actually just forcing them out with this damage, with this health, all of them. It's only this little ranked level 1 from Zamperoni.
It's doing so much work though, like everyone else needs to step up. It's the sentry that's killing everyone and it's going to win them the fight. That looked unwinnable for Wee Cake Sellers for a moment there. I mean, they did get Austin, but they had so many less players than hlpugs. They were just flooding in. Buck also went down to Kazuki. They do have an uber advantage here. Fire's gone down to a headshot. This still isn't over. This is still an onslaught. They're just barreling in here. Extra Solar trying to stand on the cart and deny it. Zamp has a level 2 now, and that's going to try and block it. But Psycho on the cap. Can he strong arm it in? He almost can. Streno's there as well, and he does. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time to play with, and that is going to be 1-1, all tied up on this first map. And Wee Cake Sellers not going to be happy to be dropping around there, and maybe they're going to have to look at things because absolute poles apart. Domaytoe. I mean, the first round they had a 7-minute time to beat, and that looked like it was going to be a struggle, and then they beat it with about a minute and a half left. And then when they actually have to attack first, 15 minutes. Maybe it's just hlpugs warming up, or, maybe they just got Wee Cake Sellers figured out. I don't know, but heading into this third round, who do you think's got the edge at the moment?
Well, first of all, I want to say they probably have the faster time, so I'm pretty sure they can opt to pick to not having to push this first, so they don't be in the receiving end of this. Second of all, I still think it's really important for who is that hlpugs to just have their explosive classes working. Kazuki is just right now just bombing in, but we still know alongside with demos and even Sukas, just this flank and just this damage can do so much preparing these pushes, which means you just get an awful lot of damage just taken onto you. There's not so much you can do. You can assume defensive positions, okay, but you just give up all this card time, meaning if they actually stay in their positions and don't die, that definitely does help them. But the problem is, just on the second round, they just kind of lacked the confidence, they lacked the plans that they wanted to do, just to push this in, because genuinely it was bizarrely seeing, but this is what people do these days. They have one full 100% and they decide to do 3 suicide waves or something because they don't get any advantages. They don't know how to push this. Meaning they just have to be braver, be a bit more forward, just actually communicate with your players, walk in forward and don't be scared of this immensely huge spam wave that is coming towards though, even though it can be hard at times. But yeah, CeeJaey, I basically talked for so long so you can pull up logs that we haven't talked about for the first
no.
2 rounds.
Domaytoe, how dare you? No, we don't do logs. We do not do logs. Our new method, policy. I should say policy. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. The new policy, we do logs at the end of a best of 3 on payloads. So, not looking at the individual logs, we'll take a look at the combined super log at the end of the first map. But yes, for those of you just joining us, this is the Division 1 Grand Final of ETF2L Season 17. We saw the Prem winners, and this is the game that essentially decides who will be joining those Prem gamers for the next season. In Season 18, hlpugs.tf were the top seeds after dropping just 2 points over the course of the season, winning 9 out of their 10 possible games. Wee Cake Sellers had to battle through a semi-final as the second seeds, but coming to this as arguably the underdogs. They've picked PL Badwater as their map. hlpugs have got 2 Koth maps coming their way, which are their choices. However, after taking the first round, hlpugs have bounced back. It is now 1-1 on PL Badwater. Next round on this map will win the first map, and that would be a big step heading in to the second.
Well, that's a perfect way of transitioning into the map picks, because meaning if we don't have to talk about useless numbers, we can actually talk about analysis and stuff like that. By the way, I can even, just enlighten this policy with, I would just say don't do logs at all, I mean, we're not even sure if we can get combined logs. I mean, Beep isn't playing this game anymore.
Oh, anyway. It's Mr. British now. He's the resident
He's
log
the new
combiner.
Beep. Fantastic. So at the map picks, intensely seeing this, Wee Cake Sellers did pick 2 King of the Hill maps, interestingly enough, because I would say so. I would say that actually hlpugs is better in the DM kind of way, just seeing Kusuki, Sukas and Demosh, but I don't know what is behind that, because they themselves banned Steel. Steel is kind of this map where sometimes like lower teams can definitely eke it out with like really cool strategies. It's basically the Highlander brain map, if you want to call it like that. But even then, like, there are so much chokes, you can do an awful lot of work with your spam classes there as well. And just saying that, like, Demosh and Kazuki, like, they could have probably done so much, but they banned it. So, interestingly enough, then after that, Wheat Cake Sellers banned Gully Wash, meaning a classical sixes map. I can totally understand that they would ban this, even though they have, like, sixes classes as well, a lot of them, actually. I mean, maybe not so much of a coincidence these days, as people usually occupy the sixes classes as genuine sixes players. But I'm pretty surprised by Wheat Cake Sellers picking like 2 King of the Hill maps that basically favor your damage and flank classes, even though like they must trust their sniper an awful lot there.
Yeah, hlpugs picked the 2 Koth maps. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to Badwater, like we've seen like sort of chalk and cheese really coming from Wheat Cake. So this is a really, really good, strong attacking time. We've seen some strong defense at times, but you know, other times they've struggled to be pushing third and last. Do you think they have what it takes to win this next round and win their map choice? And if they don't, do you think they'll be able to come back on the next 2 maps?
The first thing you can't disregard is the morale might not be in the best kind of way if they're not keeping their heads cool, because this second map must have been really, well, crushing. The problem is, usually when you get rolled, like that's really bad as well, but just imagining, I think it's even worse if you just struggle to just do like your strategies and just sit there for 50 minutes, you know, like a roll, at least it's over in 3 minutes or something, but you just sit there, bang your head against the wall. That's even more frustrating, I would say. So they just have to keep that out of their mains. As I was saying, just take a bit more ground, watch where actually like sniper sidelines and stuff like this, where the least amount of damage is coming in from, if you can actually do that, and just coordinate with your spy a bit more. This is what I advise both teams anyway, in general though, always.
Of course you would say that, you're a spy main. Of course, that is your recommendation. I say the medic should be
also
doing something.
Obviously. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we are
as a medic always blame the other players.
That is true. I mean, yeah, everyone needs to sort of, you need that coordination. We've seen some great coordinated plays, but in particular, I think sort of Kazuki's bombs have been really putting a lot of pressure on. Maybe we should see some, I mean, I say that, we've seen some great plays from Bees and Murphy going in, sort of going for the distraction and then going in for the forces separately. Works out pretty well, but heading into this final round on this first map, and it is going to be hlpugs on the blue team. They're going to be attacking first, with Wheat Cake Sellers in the red defending first. Now this is a repeat. Obviously, you know, when you set the faster time from the first 2 maps, you get to choose whether you're going to attack or defend first. This is a repeat of round 1, which Wheat Cake Sellers did win, so maybe they're going to be more comfortable perhaps with this sort of setup, with defending first and having a time to aim for. Who knows? We'll see. But we are going to be expecting some suicides any second now.
Well, let's see if they have the bite that they need to take this in. Psychos right now working it in from the front. There comes Kazuki jumping from the tunnel area. They do get an awful lot of spam, but not on the important classes, as Bug is actually hiding in the sentry gun just enough to back out to the dispenser once again. He did take like 100 damage, or maybe a bit less, but still kind of brave for him, but he just completely trusted his pyro right there. And Psycho is already ring-a-rosing around to the spawn. Fire gets the pick onto the Tricola, so no sniper sidelines, right? Not to worry. Strono is getting his cheeky damage onto Murphy though, and there comes the jump onto Buck. He's still in. Wow, that was so clutch. Like,
he was onto the stairs.
Yeah, if like Demos was right in front of him.
Yeah, he just kind of stayed near the stairs and not really in the normal position. I mean, that's something medics like to do. Is, you know, I've seen people go in the bunker, I've seen people go on top of the tunnel, just going in different positions. So, you know, the bombing players don't really know what to aim for. And Sis is down at the moment, so no Pyro to deny anything here. Buck not taking any damage. He's in the dispenser. He's got his dispenser armor on. His nice little armor set there. That means he's going to take no damage, and nothing really of note happening right now. Sis is back in action and back in position. Meanwhile, yeah, hlpugs have to find an opening.
as a medic, you're really happy to have this dispenser protection, even though I don't 100% trust this myself, because sometimes it just doesn't work and you take damage regardless. Psycho, though, does get the kind of shutting down phase, kills Dankra. There comes the force, though. There was an Uber exchange coming in from the tracks. They're actually going to clump them out here. They're just all the way passive. And they still get these frags. It's the Psycho on the hunt. He's against Murphy, and Murphy doesn't have any ammo loaded or something. He's just going to retreat with the frying pan. Damage is taking so much pressure onto the front flank. Almost 2 minutes, a bit slower there. I'm pretty sure, though, that the defensive team can be quite happy that they didn't lose a lot of players. Dankra snipes Kazuki out of the air as the German efficiency pick class as he is.
Kazuki even types in chat, oh no! Absolutely domes him in midair. And they're going to have to get up the second point here. It's going to be fairly fast time, 2:15, but they did get a decent amount of time on first, to be fair. I mean, they are going to have an Uber disadvantage here, but hey, it's third point. Even with an Uber disadvantage, you're not going to be too fussed. And I mean, they need to get some decent time here, I feel. I feel that based on their attack before, they need to buy some decent time, otherwise it's going to be a struggle for them sort of heading back. Yeah, this has gone down.
They could even push from tracks. They have to watch out for the sticky traps. No, it gets detonated early, so they have to make this work. Come on. Oh, they trapped their Pyro. That's the prime first one to flash in this position. Let's see. They still have their demo. Gets the sentry gun Zemp as well. 420 down. There's still Murphy, though, fighting on the top. They're actually going to win the fight for the top. And there's just CeeJaey trying to fight off bees from the front line, but it actually gets wrapped about from Spence, who's still on this front. Demos Gas does get the 5k, but Austin is completely trapped out. There comes the counter Uber completely onto Austin, who is alone on tracks, and they're actually going to soak up this, and they like lost their Pyro so early, and you know, like they didn't even have a defensive Pyro. That could have been so good, but kind of unfortunately losing 2 or 3 players there.
Yeah, losing those players was really detrimental there. I mean, Sis was down and it would have been a good opportunity to get as many players in without getting knocked about by that air blast, but what it turns out to be, I mean, Buck's staying really passive, just arrowing people to keep alive. And I have to give credit to Murphy and Spans, really. He was on a 4k at one point, just really denied, but Nutricooler with the headshot takes down Murphy. No demo now, and I think hlpugs may want to do a bit of a dry push here. Dankra popping off with a headshot onto Sun, gets Austin as well! Gets a double kill, and that's crucial! They're still going to be dry pushing it. They are getting frags, they have got the sentry gun, they may even get the Cappy Zamperoni, but they're losing a lot of players.
Well, that sentry gun was as well just completely like 2 rockets, completely unwatched by the engineer probably. Murphy dies there as well. Like, they can be so aggressive right now. Zamperoni is still on this card. He's trying to wrench something down. What are you doing, man? Gets completely sorted down there medieval times, and well, we will see if it's medieval times because they can still pressure that. It's like 4 minutes. They could lock off these spawns. The problem is, well, not really a problem, but 70% Uber at on the defensive route. They're kind of just struggling to get into positions right now. Though Murphy pipes down Stickers, who was trying to get cheeky from the map room. They're probably going to kind of seal off this 4th point on the defensive route. Buck is still on this balcony, though. They kind of tried to do something from the spiral. They must have been aware of the Uber advantage, but maybe try to get cheeky with it, but I don't know. Like, right now they're in genuine defensive positions.
It just seems that they're not really prepared for any sort of aggression that comes outside of the Ubers. When there's an Uber versus Uber, they're okay. But when it's just dry aggression against, you know, no Ubers in play, it seems WeakXLers just are feeding players and they're getting focused really hard, and hlpugs are just walking forward. The fact that they keep losing their med, they've lost Austin the past couple of times, and the defensive side here, WeakXLers have had an Uber advantage. It doesn't seem to bother them. They're just walking forward, and you know, they're losing 2-3 players and struggling to defend here. And you see now, they're 3 players down. It's equal Ubers. That's going to give so much space to other players to try and get a force here. And they're going to use Austin gets launched into the skybox and actually has to go back out through Joke. It's not going to be a good Uber at all. Buck does use and cleans up Demosh there, but not much else gets done. And what, with 4 minutes left, 4 minutes done on the clock, Domaytoe, for the first 3 points, they're going to need to have another more defense like that, or 2, to get somewhat of a decent time.
That's my favorite position to Uber on. Well, not Uber on myself, but just to see the enemy team Uber from there, because then exactly that happens. Usually just get juggled into oblivion. They do get the frags right now, though. Dankra dies and pieces down as well. 2 really strong defensive classes. Right now there's just this pressure from map room. They're trying to get something, won't get the sentry gun. Maybe, you know, it's actually getting spammed from stickers from the spawn because it's kind of passive there onto the tracks area. Zemp dies though to this sniper sideline from the Nutricooler, and he's just trying to aim this from kind of... Oh, Austin, nice though! From the map room.
Spans is going on a mad one right now. He's just running around and he's just meat-shotting things. He's on a 4K again before he died, but yeah, he did take down Austin. So Bug, again with you, for advantage. For how long? Kazuki, he's dodging him!
Oh! He had 6 rockets. Oh, Kazuki missed like 3
Buck is basically Neo in Matrix right now. He didn't take any damage from Kazuki.
But like Buck didn't see Kazuki. That was like the reasoning, the absolute genius reasoning after like dodging the first 4 rockets, and after that he just dodged another 2. And right now there comes this defensive Uber though, trying to get something. They lost 5 players before that though. That definitely does not favor you, because right now the offensive classes can just play it chill and easy. They're trying to, yeah, they're taking map room here. They do get the heavy out of that. The heavy dies. Nutricala can just stand there. He's getting pressure from Beast though. They have to fight for this tracks right now, as they're just all getting clumped up on this tracks area, as nobody does take this high ground except the engineer, who's getting his level 2 gun up. Demosh is still just completely trapping them off onto the top left spawn, but they're actually going to be temporarily locked off for the defending team.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a misplay out of Demosh there, and maybe some of the other players. Sis was just getting tanked there. Sis MVP for that sort of 30-second period, just getting tanked by Buck and just putting damage down, using the Uber to kill some of the players that he could, and anyone else came. But Psycho on the car!
Yes! No! Oh, no. He decloaked the heavy. I don't know what the heavy... Maybe he heard a like, phone call in real life. He just turned to the complete wrong direction. Then he got backstabbed, and that almost was really clutch. Sis is now babysitting this card. It's still this big Uber advantage onto the defensive class. Sun though! Sun kills the Pyro, and he pushes it, just walking in like that engineer class with a shotgun. I mean, hit scan, what do you got on me, man? I got hit scan, you only got air blast.
I mean, who needs a jetpack for NG when you can just ride the air blast of the enemy Pyro and just, you know, just chill. Just chill. I mean, it was actually CeeJaey there. He managed to get the frag onto Sis, and Sun getting the credit for the cap, but just going in and taking most of the attention. And in the end, that's going to sting a little bit, because WeakXL is defending really well there, just kind of recycling those Uber advantages. I don't think Buck died at all on defense, maybe once, but he must have a very low death count compared to Austin, and they were just using those advantages to make it work. However, you know, just kind of losing on these dry pushes, and it just seems that hlpugs are more comfortable walking forward. They don't care if they lose their medic. They're walking forward and taking the fights and using those spawn advantages to their advantage in the grand scheme of things. So now 8 minutes and 6 seconds is the time posted by hlpugs. They now have to defend for that long. If WeakXL beat that time, then they will be winning the first map 2-1. But if hlpugs hold them off for 8 minutes and 6 seconds, they will take the first map, and a big step forward into Prem, as this is their opponent's pick. Domaytoe, suicides? Do you fancy
first of all, decent time. Not only regarding that they had like twice the amount of time before, but still decent time. I would be happy with that, but we'll see. I mean, Suicide Wave, CeeJaey, I can only compliment it if the Sapper is on this gun, but it's not. So they just get completely denied to Oblivion. Austin didn't take any damage whatsoever, and they're just going to be happy about and just chill there. Beast, yeah, well, died to a body shot as well. Kazuki, though, now tries to do something on tracks, gets his head taken off from Denkra. So they're actually getting some card pressure forward, meaning that they're probably just going to get this exchange from the top right. Nutricala is, Denkra that is on the left side and doesn't get anything. So Psycho kills him, and let's see this Uber advantage push probably from top right, that is, even though the heavy's in the tunnel. That's a bit questionable, but right now they're trying to work this in.
Yeah, it still is equal overs. Both teams have the charge. Actually saying that, Austin gets forced, goes down to about 30 HP there, and pops off just in time to keep some of his players alive. Some interesting strats, I have to say, coming out from some of the players there. I saw Bees sort of running the direct hit and just bombing straight into the sentry, maybe trying to get those 2 rockets directly onto the sentry and take it down that way, as opposed from doing it from afar. We do see the aggression now, and there we go, the sentry goes down, combination of Murphy's pipes and Bees' direct hit, and Demosh might get caught out here. He does, and Divi's trying to hide, and he's going to get called out, and a combination of 3 players taking down Sam with the shotgun with 2. Just giving a nice little yelp there and says that no in chat, and still Uber advantage here. Buck has not used that charge, and they're going to get this second cap for free, Domaytoe.
For Uber, they have to watch out now. Nutricala was peeking aggressive, but he actually backed out. Interesting choice of another suicide wave there, and I mean post-factual commentary, because it worked. It was definitely the right idea, meaning that they have full Uber now. They do use like 50% of the Uber on a heavy with Fist of Steel. They have way better now as Austin just got his completely flaming upon with Strono on the tracks right now. The card is so far back. It's still on the second point. They try to get cheeky with this Uber advantage. Sis dies in the back end of well. And Kazuki is still on this roof. He's doing so much. The teleporter goes down. Psyche and Kazuki are behind, so it's kind of getting in this crutch hold. We have to see if they actually get something working. Wow, Kazuki gets absolutely directed out of the air. Goodbye, my friend. Back to Ireland it goes.
Yeah, I mean, they did kill Sun in that sort of Uber exchange. It was a bit chaotic. They killed Sun, so there was no NG for the defenders. However, the Sentry stays at level 1 and fire with the backstab onto Demo, takes down the Demo, and just take a look at this tri-push. Zamp and Spans on the cart. They're going to be joined by Murphy very, very quickly. They're just getting so much cap time for free. It is still equal Uber's somewhat, about 10-20% advantage for Austin though, as he's been building slightly faster, and they may have to use this if they're going to get anything done, but things start to settle down a bit now. 5 minutes left on the clock, Domaytoe, and Wiethoofd is definitely in with a shout here.
Well, we saw that it was over once Divi reached the further point of the balcony. He just shot everything and then everything died, but at that point the kind of dry push was over as well. The main important thing to see there, I mean, you didn't get the third point, okay, but that's initially a hard point to push, so you should just get your players out so you can get another advantages. And right there, Denkra just got the shot from the... Wow, they even get Kazuki, like he got the shot from the boiler and then they killed Kazuki as well, so just so good picks just again for them, and they just have to pressure this from the tracks right now. Beast dies though, that is the kind of counter-beneficial thing. Well, we still have to watch, like, they're so passive, I don't know, like, they could have, like, done so much out of these picks, but they're just happy to sit there or something.
Yeah, they just kind of don't put any pressure on, despite having a Demo and a Soldier pick. They don't make any plays, they don't go in. They need to kind of go in here. 4 minutes now, this has been a minute of real dead time almost, nothing happening. Spans has been doing a good job. He's running forward, getting just a little bit of cap time, resetting the car, and then running back, and he's done that a couple of times. But there we go, they get a couple of picks in. Nutricooler is down. No sniper for the defense now, and this is where they start to just Autobots roll out. Look at them all mobilizing and walking forward, starting to take that space. Murphy and Bees taking the high ground. They aren't going to get much done other than force the defenders back, and they're onto the low ground now. Uber is going to be used onto Extra Solar of all people, trying to get full. They haven't forced Austin yet. They do now. This is a very late force, and I don't think they're going to get much done.
Well, they just stood in boiler, got completely spammed. Nobody was brave enough. Buck dies though. Like Suka's in the back of that as well. Denkra also gets body shot down. So they just stood around. They weren't like brave enough to push in. Fair play onto them, because there was just a lot of damage coming in from Demos, but then they baited Spence on the tracks. Spence died, and after that they, well, pushed in Divi, who is that? Extra Solar got really weak. They had to flash Extra Solar. They had to flash so many players on tracks who all pushed in from the same angle. They only got Divi in that forward kind of pressure phase, and after that Austin just sat there and had his Pyro and his Demo and completely Uber onto them, and they just had to like 80% or like 90% better Uber, that is. And well, that's easy just defense for you. So 2.5 minutes, it's basically only like 2 really quick pushes on this point if they want to have a chance at beating this total time.
Big jump in from Bees. Actually, he waddles in. He almost gets so close to Sun there. Or actually the Sentry. And the Sentry does go down to the locker load from Murphy. And now they're trying to dry push this again. They do not have an Uber. They're at 70%, whereas Austin does have a full charge. So Murphy has to be careful here. He's got a spy behind him. It's going to get cleaned up. But again, you know, if they get caught out here, this is not going to be good for them. They're trying to get the cap for free. Extra Solar is going to be the bait. Buck finally gets that charge just in time. That's so clutch. They're going to be on the chase now. This is a good opportunity. Can they keep Murphy alive? He's going to get the cap. And they are going to have third point. 2 minutes to go. Divi falls down and gets a few. But Buck survives. He's retreating, Domaytoe.
Well,
just he doesn't.
Well, yeah, he has retreated all the way out into respawn, because he just got body shot down there in the back end. So now they actually have to get the actual players out of the third point. They do get the sentry gun, level 1 on the top right, that was still up there. But yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have this short-lived second hold. Nutricala is still in a kind of questionable position on this staircase, and there comes a big snipe actually from him onto Extra Solar. Denkra dies as well, should be of short-lived though. I don't know why Nutricala is there, because he gets back from this position. How is he allowed to do that? Can you call it? How are they all dying to the spam? What is happening? Like, that's just delaying them so insanely hard.
They get Demosh. That's about the closest thing I can offer to a silver lining here. Austin at 100%. They're even still essentially holding third point here. They've got this forward hold on essentially a last hold that's so far forward is basically a third hold. You know, they're just so much space being given to them, and this is basically, it needs to be a drop or a massive Uber exchange somehow. Fire comes in, doesn't manage to get the stab. Nutricooler is, well, he's down, but that's not going to be enough. 44 seconds. They need to just push and W.
Well, the problem is CeeJaey was on their kind of spawn and denied them for 10 seconds. Surely he died, but he delayed Murphy so much that they just run into this Uber advantage once again because they couldn't take ground, they didn't have their demo man forward, they just stood there, so they just got completely flanked upon because now this massively better Uber charge comes in and cleans them up, meaning that is the round for the hlpugs team. And, well, that's going to put them into the early lead. Fire, though, gets, 2 picks. That looks good on the Locksman. Nutricula, Demosh as well, and all these frags coming in, but it's probably just going to be the lock and cleaning time for us.
Dead time. Dead time. It's, this is the deadest of dead time.
It's as dead as time can get. You should make, you know, how they say, CeeJaey, not all those who wander are lost, but they kind of wandered in and they knew they were already lost because it was about 10 seconds and they got delayed mega hard by a lot of players doing a lot of
The thing is that the thing that's going to be frustrating for weak cake sellers is there was the opportunity there. There was huge opportunity for them on third point to get that cap when there was still, 4 minutes left on the clock and 4 minutes left to work with pushing into last. At that point with the respawns, get your teleporter up and just get players barreling in to the point. You've seen how it works in the past couple of rounds. They just didn't manage to crack that third hole despite Spans constantly resetting that cart, despite them getting picks onto Nutricooler, getting the space for their sniper. They just weren't sort of getting the right exchanges. When they finally did get the cap, Divi was there and just cleans up house, and they allow people to sort of repush and get in those positions. Maybe not expecting hlpugs to be that aggressive, but it's that time. It's that time, and it's your favorite time. I know how much you like it. Please don't lie, okay, Domaytoe.
The first 10 minutes are yours. I'm back in 10 minutes.
Alright, go make a cup of tea. Go and, do your taxes or something. I'm taking a look at the numbers, and I'm sure Wiethoofd can get them slapped up on the stream. I'm going to take a look at kills first, and it's Demosh with 62 kills in just under an hour. So hitting over 1 kill a minute there. Did he top damage as well? He did indeed. 483 a minute. Pretty good coming from the demo. Next are the snipers. Nutricula with 52, Denkro with 49. Both snipers having a good game. Only 3 kills between them. We see CeeJaey there, who was running the shortstop. He's on 48, and Divi on 46, who's also matched by Murphy. So lots of players. It's pretty equal, but when you consider the top 4 fraggers out of the top 5, or 4 of the top 5, I should say, were on hlpugs, kind of tells you a little bit of a story. Both meds dying similar times, but just 3 times more. But when you've got players on important classes, I don't mean to nullify or talk down to any other classes, but Demo and Sniper are pretty much the strongest classes in Highlander. If you keep them alive, you keep them doing business, then they're going to really do you a good job on that map. Doesn't matter what map it is, keep them alive. And you take a look at the map, the players, Demosh and Nutricula. How many is that? 114 frags between them. Pretty good indeed. When it comes to drops, just 2 drops coming in from Buck, none from Austin. And you see the heal spread there. Demosh getting 27% heals. Obviously, he is just the focus of a lot of those heals just being pumped into him by Austin. Sis actually getting the most heals for the weak cake sellers. 20% gets more than extra solar. Murphy down in 3rd place. So their demo not getting anywhere near as many heals as Demosh was. And the only other stats I want to look at, who got the most med picks? Can you give me a guess, Domaytoe? Who do you think got the most med picks?
I think it's, I'm looking on Kazuki.
That's cheating.
That was my game sense right there.
It was indeed Kazuki getting six, which was twice as many as anybody else. Denker and Murphy, both for the weak cake sellers, the opposing team getting 3 each, but no one else managed to get that amount. And I mean,
cut me off there. I just came back, and now I get. Now it's the second round of analytics. Let's just You will see. Just see. So they have 2 players, a demo and a sniper on top, and that's basically like one of their strongest players. And they also like pumped 27% heals into their demo man, who just does an awful lot of work, and they just work off their like damage coming from the flank classes, and even though like these stats are probably going to be padded a bit from the second round, just seeing they had this long defensive hold, meaning in general, when you're on defense a bit longer, you just have higher frags and stuff like that, especially if the offending team suicides a bit in. But yeah, aside from that, I see fire is a bit low as a spy. I don't know what you're doing as a spy. Probably the right thing because you don't focus on a lot of frags, but on crucial frags. But your team still loses. Unlucky is what you say in this situation. Psycho is on the spy class. He got 12 sniper frags. That's really good, meaning you play against a sniper that probably doesn't know the Razorback, or maybe it's banned. I don't know. But anyway, that is basically what has happened there, CeeJaey. So yeah, I mean, 2 snipers on top and then a demo as well. So that's very, very interesting, very surprising for anyone who has watched Highlander in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So we're going to go on to a second map that just threw me out of the STV because bad spectator password.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
we're just going to do a guessing cast now. So it's like one of those game shows. You watch one map and then you have to guess what happens next, But we are moving on to Coalplant, Warmtick. It's going to be Warmtick. It's Warmtick, not Coalplant. We're not playing Coalplant today. I was just baiting you guys. I'm sorry. But yes, Warmtick. This is going to be the pick from hlpugs. So, I mean, morale-wise, mentality, coming into this second map, Domaytoe, I mean, Wiethoofd sellers picked Badwater. They go a round up and then they lose it 2-1. They now have to win the next 2 maps to win this game. Do you think they have it in them to win Warmtick? Because we've seen, a demo and a sniper go really well for hlpugs on payload. They are going to surely do even more on a King of the Hill map. So, do you think they have have what it in them to to get through this final?
Well, first of all, we have to sort out the predisposition, which is looking a bit grim, to be quite fair. They have a huge mountain to climb, honestly, because they just lost 1/3 if it goes to like all the 3 maps of it, and if it doesn't, then that's already 1/2 won for the hlpugs team, even though they definitely did put up a fight with Kicksellers status. But as you just said, like, they won the first round, really good for the morale. After that, this crushing second round, we can't like sugarcoat this in any other way, meaning and then they even lose the third round, meaning they get their map pick completely taken out of their hands, even though like you shouldn't maybe think in map picks that much, because you should think like, I take every map because we are just superior players, obviously. But in general, I would say just right now it's playing in the hands of hlpugs. But if this favorite role just gets completely tilted, meaning that they just have to make it work on the Wiethoofd seller side with just different strategies. What I wanted to analyze before is just, I think if it goes a bit more into the meaningfulness of Ubers and actually working together forward with their flank, taking the same route as them and splitting up this damage coming in from Demosh, I think they have a bit more of a, well, I don't want to say luck, but sometimes it boils down to luck because there are just so many factors in Highlander. But I think they have a better chance in general, though, when they just walk forward a bit more, have like a lot of targets to divide the attention that comes to them, the damage that comes to them. After that, they just have to get the Uber a bit more into play. The Uber has to be more important, less so this explosive damage. And after all, they just have to kind of reign superior on the sniper position. That also works for you. Sniper is, well, I don't want to say the best class in the game, but Highlander is still a bit of a sniper-oriented game mode. And in general, on Warmtick, sometimes the medic dies, well, or maybe sometimes the medic does not die because medic die most of the time, because this map is a very interesting map, especially for medics. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit more open, CeeJaey, but in general, I don't think there was like this huge slip up for Wiethoofd sellers. But, well, on the second point, but this were like mega, hiccups, Mm-hmm. Meaning, if they have like little hiccups, they can actually recover from that here. But I think they have to be like constantly, they literally have to constantly think how we can make the Ubers count more and how we can just try to work around this damage, the splash damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry it's so blank, but in essence, this is what I'm seeing. Like sniper and splash classes.
I mean, it is true. I mean, Highlander essentially revolves around the sniper. You have to keep your sniper alive, give him buffs so that he can, win those sniper v snipers, but also just get damage, get headshots onto everything else. And, if your sniper is on a bit of a spree, it works out well for you. And that is especially, relevant on Koth. So for those of you just joining us, this is the Division 1 final, the grand final between hlpugs, the top seeds in Division 1 this season, going up against Weed Sellers, who were the second seeds. They did win their semi-final to book themselves a place here. The winner of this game guarantees themselves a place in Prem for Season 18. hlpugs played and won the first map, coming down from a round down to win against Weed Sellers on their map choice. Badwater was picked by WCS, and they are now on their 2 map choices. All they need to do is win one of Warmtick or Product, and they will be through. Weed Sellers, a bit of a mountain to climb, and we did see on the logs there, their players were definitely turning up here. And I have to say, just to sort of bounce off what you said there, Domaytoe, I looking at the players for Weed Sellers, people like Murphy, people like Denkra, people like Spans, these are people who have a lot of experience. Spans and Murphy playing with Open Squad, getting to playoffs, in Prem. They have the DM ability. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play on this map. I mean, I do think the potential is there, and if they can definitely win the sniper battle, who knows? But we are going to be readying up now. It's gonna be Weed Sellers in the blue, needing to win this map to stay in this final. hlpugs.tf in the red. Winning this map will win them the grand final and make them Division 1 champions. Murphy, very fast, Domaytoe.
These 3 players you just mentioned, they have to play a bit more together. We'll see how this works on the first mid fight, because they have to parallel. I'm not seeing what I'm seeing on the hlpug side on Weed Sellers. That is, they definitely have the potential, but there we go. Nutricula gets the early sniper frag, so that just opens up all this space for the red team. They're trying to spam Spence off here. Psycho still in behind from main. He does get a headshot with the Ambassador in 2019 onto Zamperoni. Sisters chase him out, but they're still getting all this ground here on the point on the hlpug side, and Spence dies, Fire dies, and that's going to be a first cap probably. They have to watch out though. There comes the conch that they don't get trapped about here. Sis dies to a headshot, Extra Solar as well, but Bug should be safely out as Kusuki is going on the hunt in main.
You see this kind of, there we go, Kazuki does go down to the pipes of Murphy. The conch at the start there working out really well for them, and just giving everyone that little bit of a buff, but Buck does survive. It is equal Ubers, and now it's going to be about them dislodging these gamers from the point. Can Nutricula really just watch those sightlines and get stuff done, or is he going to lose the battle against Denkra? But Psycho is going to help him out there by taking down Denkra, and that means no sniper for Weed Sellers. They're trying to walk forward, but they're losing a few players here. No Ubers being exchanged, and sometimes it's about, do you want to go for a trade, or do you want to get for a pick first? It really depends on how you want to play this, but at the moment, Weed Sellers are just dying. They're just bleeding players.
Everything crumbles once your carry players die. And who is your carry player, you might ask? Well, it's Picklass, obviously, that's who. See, now Fire respawns and actually gets the shutting down fake onto Nutricula, so they can actually push in now. But after they lost kind of their 2 players, 2 actually very vital players, because Sniper as well, they could just go forward their hlpugs, picking up another 2, including Murphy. And right now they're just getting clumped up now, though, inversely, because they lost their Sniper, meaning Weed Sellers can get a bit fast, loose and easy. They do take an awful lot of damage here, though, and Murphy dies, and Extra Solar is so weak as well. There comes the Uber. Bug actually didn't use, but they still kept the point for it. Bug is kind of alone here onto this low right. He does connect with his Pyro right now, but they're completely getting surrounded. Let's see what they can make out of this solo Spence Uber.
Yeah, I mean, Sis there's made the wrong decision. I think he's gone back to clean up players behind the point. And that does mean Streno and Sikas are behind, as is Kazuki. He's going to go at 1 rocket, 2 rocket. Oh, Buck is dodging! Oh, but finally gets, the 5th rocket down and gets the medic kill. I mean, I think if Sis had stayed in the Uber there, they would have got a lot more done. They did take down Austin, but they didn't get the cap, and they didn't clean up enough players, and they didn't keep Buck alive. So they're going to get the cap now, but over 2 minutes chalked off, and they're going to have Uber disadvantage. It's going to be pretty easy for hlpugs to try and kind of just tease this and bait them onto the point into their Uber advantage here.
It's gonna be a tall mountain to climb. There comes the first step though, killing Strono, meaning you only have to climb this little high ground there onto the point. You just have to walk onto the point. Now you get your spy to have a microphone and say, there's the sniper, meaning we can go forward. Psycho though, inversely gets a pick onto Jankra, meaning this just opens up all the space for hlpugs as they're just plowing forward. This fire is still into this banana. Austin though dies 2 spans from the drop down area or somewhere, meaning he just snuck in, and there is a server destroying pause because we lost our medic. We don't know how to do. Maybe this medic is screaming as well, but finally we can see well, temporary stationary players again.
Yeah, just floating. Damage doing the kind of the bicycle, just getting those little legs going. Just
workout.
Cycling in the air, yeah, just a workout. That's good. You know, might as well do that in a pause. Just listening to Extra Solar's Natasha, actually. Just, you know, you
Does he want to slow the game with this? Does he want to slow the game down even more? Because I think that's what Natasha does, right? I have 10 hours on heavy, I don't know.
Yeah, it slows them down and is generally annoying, but you can't do it across the map anymore. It was nerfed somewhat, so you have to be fairly close.
Fantastic stuff, heavy strategies. Let's see what you can see as well. Usually, yeah, engineers do these days, get the level 3 on the right side. I mean, at the moment, it's only level 1, but it could be, every potential level 1 could be like level 3. On the other side, they don't have a gun like that. They still have this 60% advantage onto Buck because Austin just went down. And, well, I mean, the HUD time still ticks down, but meaning I'm pretty sure they are like over 1 minute or something behind. So, as I was saying before, they have to make work with this Uber ad and actually call a sniper. You know, as a spy, you don't need to get so many frags, you just have to call the sniper. He's in main right now, so you can communicate this to your team. But, CeeJaey, what is your favorite one tick story for underdogs? How do you win this?
Underdogs. I remember my first season of Prem, I beat Highlander on this map, which was a big surprise. And do you want to know the key strat?
Well, you have Raptor jumping.
Yeah, press W. No, you don't. You don't need strats. You just need to take the space that's given to you. Walk across. Like a lot of people like to walk on the point and cap the point, and they're like, okay, job done. No, you need to go beyond the point. You need to cross the horizon and chase them out. You see, Sun. He's got that level 1 sentry. And it's, you know, he's going to build that up. It's going to be eventually a level 3, and I'm sure Zamperoni's going to do the same thing. That sentry, if it stays alive, it's just going to deny you getting any forward pressure on the top. So you see where Kazuki is at the moment. That's where a sniper likes to live. And we saw some interesting strats from Prem teams in recent seasons where they would keep sort of their soldiers watching the sniper so they can sit in the window and just take pot shots at everybody. However, you know, if you get a soldier just jumping up there, you can take down the sniper. But that sentry watches under, it watches across the ramp, and it watches anyone who tries to get close to your sniper.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier how special snipers are in Highlander. You want to keep them alive, so you need to get across the point. You need to hold that W key further than the jagged zigzag lines on the point, and try and take down the stuff behind. Take down that telly, take down that sentry, and really make sure the team that's about to push doesn't have space. And
it just inhibits that counter aggression so much that you talked about. And I also recall this map you're talking about. That also definitely does help having a Raptor just jumping over the crates on the right side. But just, you know, like getting the medic with that. But what you just said, I think like this level 3 sentry wasn't so prominent on this map back in the day, meaning this sentry would completely shut this kind of down. So you can't actually have this engineer just get this defensive position up so much. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see. We haven't seen a big clutch banana hold, which is also sometimes, I don't think it's so much a strategy these days anymore, because I feel like this drop-down area in top right is just getting a bit more of importance these days, because you can just spam the banana from there. But in general, I would say it's, well, still an interesting map. I just realized I can't actually bash maps. So it's still a map. It still exists in the game, and you have to back up the strategies to break down this map. Meaning, Buck has to back up the strategies, whatever. CeeJaey, what else can you do if you don't have aggression right side? Can you also walk sniper on the left side in the banana?
Yeah, absolutely. Get a buff on your sniper. The sight line goes all the way to the opposite side of banana, that curved tunnel area. And if you do that, that means, you know, you're not allowing them onto the point. So that allows some of your players to get onto the point, get a little bit of cheeky cam time, bait them onto the point, So like, oh no, someone's capping, let's stop them. You run straight into a sniper sightline, and then hopefully your sniper is going to dome them and stop them from doing anything. That's obviously good in theory. Other choices, some teams like to Uber in from under. If you manage to get in through under with an Uber advantage, uncalled, and their medic is holding fairly far forward, who knows, you can just wrap around, go behind and get it done. But you know what I'm really interested about right now? Is this pipe. There is a blue pipe just floating above the point. It's
not
flashing.
going to do anything.
Are you sure?
There are two pipes actually, if you look closely.
I'm trying to look at the angle, and is it going to hit Demosh, or is it just going to go past him? No.
Well, if it turns 90 degrees to the left, which is definitely something to have these days, you know, you can just manually control your pipes like.
Not that one. The one on top of the point. It's literally on top of the point.
Oh, there are three then. Look, like there are. Yeah. 3 pipes in the same.
So the first two, obviously, Murphy's lobbed over, but there's one on, like, oh, there it goes, and it doesn't hit him. So,
he almost jumped into the second one. Fantastic. The HUD has completely ticked down, meaning I can't use my brain knowledge anymore. There is right now Strono getting wrangled down from Banana there. They tried to do something from the drop-down area, but CeeJaey dies as well. That was kind of some solo, well, no, not solo, but triple suicide wave. Murphy dies though. Demosh gets shanked down in the inverse scenario from both spies, and they're trying to re-flood onto this point Wheat Cake Sellers. That is as they have fought the aggression of that was hlpugs trying to get cheeky because their medic just died. They just wanted to get aggressive through drop down.
I mean, they've done well so far. I mean, Austin did die at the beginning of that pause, and he's died again! Denkra with the body shot. I mean, Nutricooler went down, so that gave Denkra so much more space. They've used Uber here. Buck getting forced down to about 70 HP, and they're on the chase. Murphy just going so far forward. Sun is there, and actually Sun's going to go for the medic. Getting down the shotguns. He does. Buck gets taken down by Psycho. Sun did all the damage, but it's Psycho who gets credit for the med pick, and everyone else just fades away there. I mean, they did the right thing, but you want more players than just your demo in that Uber. Denkra is going to take down Demosh. Zamp took down Strono. So Pyro and Demo down. Pretty important in trying to recapture the point here. But the times are starting to equalize.
Easy frag steal. I wanted to say from Psycho, but now he actually makes up for it and gets a close range headshot onto the Demo man. So now the time actually equals out. 55 seconds as we speak on both teams as they tried to get this pressure forward. They did lose Demosh on the side of hlpugs, meaning they couldn't push instantly. Right now they're pushing though. Sun does die to the spam there from these, and they still have this 40% advantage. They're actually going to cap out this, well, cap point obviously. Solo does die, but that's kind of it. So they definitely still have this Uber advantage, and just going to be another like 20 to 30 seconds if the Wheat Cake Sellers don't get a lot of picks, but they're actually going to take the aggression to them. They do get, well, the counter Uber forced in that sign of way. CeeJaey runs into pipes, and the trigger light dies as well. So that was actually interesting kiting from Buck, but they still have to cap this point.
Yeah, I mean, that Uber didn't get to the medic, and Fire does get the medic. He takes down Austin. He's on a 3-kill streak. Actually gets the teleport down for good measure. You know, that's the old 1-2 that you like to do as a spy. But yeah, actually 15 seconds left on the clock for hlpugs. Looking good for a long part of this map, but only 35 left for Wheat Cake Sellers. And Buck has 100% Uber. They have to dislodge this charge and capture the point. So not looking great for hlpugs at the moment. They have to be careful. 25 seconds left on the clock now. Demosh and Divi looking to get some pressure further forward, just teasing the cap a little bit, but there's a Wrangled Mini to deal with, as well as every other player alive. Nutricooler goes down to Fire. He's on a bit of a spree at the moment, and Domaytoe, this is going to be closed.
Yeah, well, it's really important. Both teams are so just hesitant to go in, and rightfully so, because the team that loses his players first on loses this round, as right now just all these kills came in regardless, because they had to be aggressive onto this point. Like, you could see both teams just, if we lose 1 player or 2 players or 3 players even, like, it's just going to favor the enemy team so hard, and they were so hesitant, as I was saying. And after all, well, the team that doesn't have the point, like hlpugs, just had to get onto the point, and they didn't get anything. They had so little time to work with, and that makes it 1-0 Wheat Cake Sellers, as Murphy is way faster onto Demosh, onto the rollout.
Yeah, it's a repeat of the first map with Wheat Cake Sellers taking the first round. We'll see if hlpugs can do the same and bounce back. Kazuki is down, so no conch this time, which was really successful in their last mid. Both spies going down, so no picks, but look at the aggression from Wheat Cake Sellers, getting so far across the point and actually getting decent cap time down now as well. And hlpugs not really sure how to react here. They are getting some kills, but they're not getting cap time, and Oh, look at Austin. He's just hiding close to using that dispenser spot, we supposed to call it. But yeah, WeakXL is getting the point and looking a lot more comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, there's still this fight going on. I mean, Austin had this Pyro reconnect with him and the demos, demos, and no, demo, whatever. Well, they definitely did fight for this point, and they actually, well, reigned superior because WeakXL were still kind of passive. There comes the Uber right now onto Spence, gets a lot of damage, but Demos does live. Austin is completely alone forward with his heavy Divi that is no... Oh wait, WeakXL actually did cap the point, so that definitely does favor them, but right now they're losing all these players. CeeJaey is still wrecking them apart from behind. It's going to be a recap for the red team, but the blue team can basically push instantly because they have quicker spawns in 1 second. There we go, and I just realized, can these teams these days have like shorter names? I feel like I definitely had easier names to call for these casts, but right now it's WeakXL trying to snuck their way forward to the point again.
Yeah, Denkra dominating Kazuki, takes the man down again. But NeutraKiller responds by taking down Murphy. I have to say, Fire at the moment is on fire. He's outscoring everyone in the server, including the medics. He's really getting some good picks, including the sniper. So, I mean, that's all you could really ask for. But we take a look now, and this is where time is being lost. I mean, WeakXL has had a lot of time chalked off there, down to 2:14, but now hlpugs are in the lead, and this makes you wonder, why are there no plays going on? Why are no players going in for suicides or making a play onto Austin to try and get the force while they're waiting for Bug? But there we go! Murphy with the pipes! Okay, I take it back. Murphy just needs to pipe the medic to death. And Uber's going to be used. They're going to be on the chase, trying to get some frags here, Domaytoe, but, I mean...
I always like when you actually point out the sensible decision that they should have made, but then just a different player just says, okay, I just do that, and that makes absolutely no sense. But I get the medic, and that makes it sound dumb because, well, they could have like done this, you know, 20 seconds before, but they just stood around and didn't make use out of their faster respawns and actual positions that they were getting. But yeah, you can obviously just have your demo double pipe. Well, now he gets taken down though by Psycho, meaning this just opens up all this aggression inversely to Demos. Meaning you have these good plays, but sometimes you just take too long to execute them, and the other team that just plays, I mean, decently, doesn't have any hero plays, but just plays on a, well, higher standard in general, it's actually going to favor them, because right now hlpugs do have the point and only have 10% this ad.
Yeah, they just kind of walked forward there, and that's maybe what WeakXL should have done earlier on. You know, just gone forward and put some pressure on the point, which they seem sort of scared to do at the moment. But taking down Demos should maybe open things up a bit. Murphy with a lot more room right now, getting some decent damage down onto Divi, and they are getting cap time here. And there we go, hlpugs struggling to defend this without a demo, but they're getting a lot of damage down. Big jump in from Kazuki, and it's going to be NeutraKiller to take down Murphy. And they've actually blocked the cap here, so the time is still ticking down for them. Uber used onto CeeJaey, trying to get as many frags as he can.
He forces him all the way back to in his shudder. Well, not shudder, but Bug will definitely shudder in his dreams this night, because Kazuki is just on top of him all the time, and he actually did force him. There's only Divi right now behind the point, and they have the level 2 set again. Murphy almost getting caught off. He's on 80 HP. That's kind of clutch as well. Denkra does get stepped down, but we still have to see, because WeakXL have 40% well, time deficit second status. They still do have 20% advantage. Right now they're playing kind of aggressive. They have to watch out for Kazuki. He gets piped, so he can't initiate onto the top right. Gets double piped even. Goodbye, my friend. You won't do anything, but they're still getting some frags here on the front, which is definitely putting them into the front and driving seat again.
The thing I feel wins most Koth maps isn't the exchanges, it isn't, you know, how long you can hold the point, it's these dry pushes. If you can perfect the art of dry pushing when there's no Ubers in play and capturing the point off of it, then things are going to go really well for you. And at the moment, hlpugs are doing this so much better. They're just retaining this lead. Despite things being fairly equal, they're just walking forward, bullying the other team off of the point, and just saying, hey, we're going to cap, you're going to have to do something to defend it. And at the moment, WeakXL don't seem keen to do that unless they have an Uber. And we're just seeing a little bit of stuttering here. I don't think it was a pause, maybe just a little technical issue. But we're seeing an exchange going on, and it's looking better for WeakXL.
So it was tragical to see Beast not getting, like, he did an amazing jump just as they pushed in from the front.
With the med kill.
What you want to do, what did he do?
Zampa just got a med kill.
Okay.
He just walked
fantastic.
forward and gets Austin.
They do get the cap though. The problem is the red team has overtime, meaning they only have to step onto this point. They still have 40% advantage onto Park though, so as we were saying, they have to make use out of that Uber advantage. But yeah, I mean, Beast bombed in, that was really good, putting pressure from the back, but the combo from the front to Uber was kind of too slow, and right now they're just giving this up once again. Beast dies, Fire dies as well. They're getting these early frags. Only Strono dies right now, but they're getting so much cap time. They're getting so much pressure onto them. Bug dies as well. They just completely open to this counter aggression. Demosh and Kosugi do go down to Murphy, but it's probably just going to be the ceiling cap. I mean, what are you doing from this drop-down area? Extra Solar and Murphy. Nothing at all. It is 1-1. These teams, nobody should win though, because they don't know how a config works anyway. I definitely do agree, CeeJaey, like, you can have like hero plays and everything, you know, but if a team just understands the mechanics of the map better, then in the end, the team that just plays decently on a higher level standard better, then they just win.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You can have these big plays. I mean, you've seen Murphy, you know, getting the drop onto Austin there. Deckncra has been popping off a little bit here and there, and Fire, I feel, has been, you know, at least in the first round and a half, definitely the strongest player on the server, getting the really important picks and getting a multitude of them. But it's just the cohesion of the teamwork from hlpugs that's winning them the cap time, because they're just walking forward and just saying, look, hey, we're on the point, we're going to cap. What are you going to do about it? And at the moment, weak sellers don't want to contest them when they don't have Uber. So when it's no Uber versus no Uber, they're just walking forward and winning. So really, weak sellers need to be a little bit more ballsy, I have to say, a little bit more confident, even when they don't have Uber. Just say, hey, okay, we're going to defend this. Even if it costs us a player or two, we're going to fight you. We're going to make sure you're not going to get free cap time. We're going to make sure that your medic is going to be scared because you're going to have to do damage onto them, you know, because at the moment, they're giving a lot of respect. I think they're giving too much respect to hlpugs.
Or just actively think what these picks that you're getting is actually enabling you to do. Because there are 9 players in this game mode, meaning you have so much potential. You have so much potential to just having counteracting players to their strength, to their weaknesses, meaning like they get these hero plays, that's okay, nice, they won't push onto us, but this also adversely means you can be a bit more forward and get even more advantages, you know? Like I feel like they're not making the optimal out of their plays that they could make. Like they're just accepting that they won't get aggressive onto them, but this also means you can get aggressive onto them. Right now though, it is nobody's pick, but the first one is clawed back by Nutricula, gets a heavy pick, and Murphy dies as well, so the combo instantly very, very weakened on the Wiethoofd, meaning they get really passive. Bug gets passive into a knife, and there we go, actually dies there. They do get some frags on the hlpugs team, but it's probably going to be a cap. No, never mind, Sis does everything to scare them out again.
Yeah, there is 100% for Austin. So at the moment, you know, they can just go. Okay. There's no 100% on Austin.
Fantastic.
Fire gets the drop.
Well, this time though, they played this like, as we said, like braver, you know, like they just walked forward. There we go. This is what you get for walking forward. They do lose some players, but definitely would have been way worse for them if they just would have stayed passive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You can play passive and just say, hey, cap the point. We'll use Uber onto you. But, you know, they decide, well, I mean, they didn't decide to drop, but the drop happens. And essentially, this is still a mid-fight.
Yeah, well, no team has kept it. Spence is still battling heavy with Fist of Steel. Demosh does get killed there by Denkra from the back end. And I hear headshots ringing out. Psycho still using the Ambassador, still in 2019. I don't know who does that. Murphy dies to a body shot. There we go. There's the fighting towards this. So both pyro classes exist. They have flamethrowers and also shotguns, and they can, well, shoot at each other. But like, there's literally nothing happening. Some players are going forward, the others are going back. I don't know. Like this. So
it's still mid-fight. Yeah. I remember I saw this map. This happened before on this map before. Remember, an SCCK map went on for ages because the mid-fight just never, you know, culminated, as we see an Uber exchange on the point. But it's going to go in their favor of hlpugs, and I think that is going to be.
I was thinking of the same game. There was like 4 minutes, and right now though the curse is finally getting wrong. Hopefully, no, there comes the pyro. He is still contesting that, and they actually did get the kind of Ubers out of the equation. It's equal, but right now, come on, Demosh, you can do it. He is ending the curse, and the first cap goes down for hlpugs.
And this is Austin. Denkra is popping off. Demos goes down, and Strena goes down. So just getting frags and doing the dry push thing I was talking about. So 4 up for hlpugs. They're going to have to give up the point.
They're still fighting for this. Divi tries to spam them out there, and Denkra dies to the shortstop from CU Fish as he's tagged up right now, as he's getting some fishy shots into the sniper and actually salvages that one out. For his team, Strodo tries to do something here and tries to bait them into getting aggressive onto him. You can do this because you get backed up by your combo that just stays on the little not drop down area, but well, a little height disadvantage. I'm missing vocabulary so I have to describe. But right now, they're still pressuring this. No team is actually giving the other respect, and it's working out well for Wiethoofd sellers.
It is working out well. They are defending the point. They do have the Uber, and they're going to use it. But they don't get Austin. Austin is safe and sound. Bees comes up behind. Yeah, no, not enough. I inhaled deeply for no reason. Bees wasn't enough HP, and actually bugged there with the frag onto Psycho. But there we go. hlpugs just walking forward now, and this is what you don't want to see, Domaytoe. A team recapping and keeping their med alive.
On full 100% as well. So unforced.
Yeah. Unforced. You want to have players going in and committing, slowing that point down, and forcing them to maybe even use. But at the moment, they're just walking forward a little bit more.
Well, right now they're just pressuring Demosard. I feel like they definitely did realize who has to be shut down to have way more space to work with. CU Fish, that is, Sikas is going down. The Trigger does get jumped from Beast. Really nice jump. They're just getting the damage on him, meaning it's forcing him out. They can be quick here. Come on, you need more players on this point, because the problem is right now they're just going to be a good clutch there on the front flank. Austin does get his Uber eventually. They did get the Trigger pick before. They're only 5 players forward, so if Wiethoofd get really aggressive onto them, they can definitely punish them really hard right now. Yeah,
they're on the chase. And you get Austin spans, gets the frag on the chase, takes down Austin. No heals for hlpugs now, and Buck staying alive. Psycho is on the lurk. He's behind. He's in position, and just taking a look at Extra Solar. Actually, Psycho goes for Bees instead, so they take it down 3 players. Maybe open things up for hlpugs to just drive push this again. But I like the aggression coming out of Wiethoofd sellers. It's a lot better, and
they actually used their Uber, meaning that they actually did have Buck survive and not fall victim to all these bombs, because as the people probably noticed, Kazuki is bombing in way fewer, because if your team is actually aggressive, then they will look forward instead of backwards, and the soldier will get shot down early by hit scan damage that will come towards him, meaning Buck is surviving more, and they can make work with these Uber advantages. Right now they're still complacently waiting into their banana, and a bit main split up, that is. Buck is just healing his sniper onto the banana, just having this huge sideline. Right now they're just walking onto the sideline, having to walk onto the point, and the Trigger dies there. Really good pick as well. And it just slows them down all this time, and Buck almost has, so they might even be able to block this in front of their noses. No, I think hlpugs is going to cap, but we have to see Uber exchange, and 1 minute ahead for Wiethoofd sellers.
Nutricooler was on less than a second left on his respawn, and because hlpugs capped the point, his spawn got reset to 9 seconds. Uber exchange here, and it's just a solo one to spans. He's making everybody flash. This is so good from him. hlpugs have to flash about 3 players to keep them alive. Demos does take down Denkra, which is actually a pretty good pick, all things considered. But now,
flashing is forbidden in public. I don't know what happened. Not even considering, Buck could have always been air blasted to the enemy side, but like Strono was so insanely confused, as all Pyromanes probably are, and just turned around 24/7. And Wiethoofd are still fighting for this. They have to be quicker here. Kept this. They do get some really vital frags as well. Austin dies to fire with a little Litronja. It doesn't matter if your revolver doesn't do a lot of damage. You just have to hit a lot of shots, meaning he gets the medic down. Strono is still fighting for it, but he definitely did help them that they kept this, and they have 80% advantage. So Wiethoofd sellers in the driving force.
Yeah, they are in a good position right now. I mean, Buck at 90%. If they keep him alive, and they keep, the big players in the game alive, the sniper, the demo, and stuff like that, they can probably clean house on this point, because hlpugs don't have much time to play with. They have to walk forward here and get something done, and Spans is lurking around. He's getting a lot more heals this game, and I feel these scout Ubers are just something. But look at Stun, he's got a level 2, on watching the point, and Spans has gone down, but Denkra!
Oh, it's so nice to fully shot so often in this round. It's really fun to be a medic on one tick, and right now there's only Denkra trying to clop them down with a melee weapon. Now comes the Fist of CeeJaey, just completely controlling this point right now, and there's not so much that they can do. Maybe with a repush. We have to see Buck though! Goes down to Psycho.
Big play from Psycho to get the kill on the medic there. That's going to open things up, maybe give his team a lifeline as long as Austin stays alive here. But Austin gets thrown in. Zap with the fist! No!
Yeah, well, fisted. I'm sorry, but he just got completely gunslinger down right there. Who needs a mini sentry? I have a metal glove, and I'm going to kill you.
He Thanos'd him. He just snapped his fingers and just deleted him from the round. They have to cap the point here, and it's not looking good for them. They lose Psycho. Everyone else is starting to come forward, but Sis and Extra Solar. Kazuki goes for a nice flank and takes down Buck. So no heals, actually, for Weedcake Sellers, and that means hlpugs have Austin alive at 33%. Everyone is pretty weak. He's doing his best to try and keep everyone alive. But at, 56 seconds, they have to hold this and hope that Weedcake Sellers don't cap, because if they do, it's overtime. That's an instant round win for them.
They have 70% advantage onto Austin though, and Buck does spawn on quick picks, meaning, well, this last fight, as we just saw, it was almost as, took almost as long as this initial first round, so that just takes so much time in general though, and the result of that, it is overtime. A little Duff leaves the body of Spence who dies there, and they have to work it right now against full Uberhead.
Yeah, I mean, they have time, it's 20 seconds. And every frag that they get is going to be better, but Psycho gets Murphy down. Kazuki gets just yeeted across the map.
Goodbye.
He's got a crater, but Buck goes down. Nutricooler, huge kill for him, and everyone else is starting to turn up. His Psycho's behind. He's going to just shank Sis to death. Everyone else, before hlpugs is on the point. Extra Solar tries to, but he can't. And that somehow, hlpugs comes around.
Yeah,
yes,
well, that...
Spans types in chat, my fault. I believe there was a bit of taunting going on that... led to him dying and not sort of winning the round, perhaps. So
he's a Sixers player. He is allowed to be, well, I don't know, undisciplined kid. It is forgiven, and other players it might not be. But yeah, if he just threw the round, that's really nice, because after the game, you know who you can blame for. After all, though, they had to keep Buck alive there, and it would have definitely been a bigger chance for them. I don't know if they would have actually got it, because they lost an awful lot of players and didn't actually have fast respawn. Like, faster respawns though. Fire gets the early frag onto the medic.
Yeah, I was saying about Fire being sort of the strongest player in the first round, outpointing everybody in the server. He was outpointing everyone by about 6 points. This time around, though, it's Psycho outpointing everybody in the server after the first round of this kind of restart. So it seems, there we go, and he gets the kill. He gets the kill onto Buck. So both spies are taking down the opposing medics. I'm just feeling like the first rounds, people are forgetting about the spies and they're going on a bit of a spree. And, hopefully they become a bit more aware. But Denko with the headshot on to Sun is just going to slow down this cap a little bit. But hlpugs surely going to win this mid fight.
There are just so many frags and it's so chaotic. Weedcake Sellers need to calm it down a bit more. It needs to be about these Ubers, as we saw in the map in the round they actually won, because in the end, like, when they lost Buck, it's almost like curtains for them all the time. Murphy dies again, like they're already being weakened on the combo. Austin though gets his head taken off by Janker, just enabling them. Let's see if they can make the best out of this hero play.
Yeah, I mean, huge heal advantage here, huge Uber advantage as well. And Zamperoni wrangling and Mini just being an annoyance in Banana. Sun trying to do the same, but he has an entire team focusing his sentry down. Psycho takes down Fire with a headshot. Bit of spy on spy action there. But it is going to be a cap for Weedcake Sellers. Kazuki just lurking around. He's behind, but he's going to lose a 1v1 to Bees. So no force onto Buck, and now Austin at 20% has to kind of catch things up here, Domaytoe. And hlpugs, I'm expecting a dry push to try and maybe force Buck somehow. They're looking like they want to do a banana hold.
There was a stay from the drop down, and he does get like stickies onto Murphy. Murphy doesn't even see him, and he's going to burn out as well. Oh my god, where was anyone to help him there? They did get demos, but Kara didn't enable them for that much, as hlpugs are actually the ones that have to cap. There's already -2 because the scout gets completely wrecked apart from the map that is. I'm also quite surprised that the reflectors coming in, that the sniper versus sniper fight is quite equal, because I thought that Weedcake Sellers wouldn't be able to hold their own with just this aggression all the time onto the point, enabling the sniper, but there was this Uber coming in, not actually getting that much done.
No, they lose Buck because of it. That's a misplay coming out of Weedcake Sellers. They think that they can catch out Austin, but he just runs away. He's really far away by the time he becomes his Spans is actually coming in onto him. He's not going to use and it actually keeps alive Kazuki with, what, 3 kills there to protect his medic, and Nutricula as well, winning the post-Uber fight for his team. He's on a 5k right now, but he was rattling off some huge headshots, including, I think, one on Murphy as well, which just opened things up for his team.
Nutricula is so hungry, like this is sometimes what can happen with snipers. He's on a 5k and he just dropped down through the drop down to chase a heavy with Fists of Steel Y being on 40 HP or something. Of course you can do this, but I don't like snipers getting undisciplined. Maybe it bites them in the back. I really hope so as well, because I want a third map that would be which would be very productive way for Wiethoofd to claw this warm tick map back, as they're trying to force this way onto the map again, onto the point. They have 40% disad, and right now Austin does use, but Buck is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, they lose Murphy and Sis, so, you know, that's probably good enough for a force. Those players are going to be up in a few seconds. Look at Strono. His spawn time is so much longer because his team controlled the point. Remember, if you have the point on King of the Hill, if your team's in control, your spawn times are much, much longer than the team that is trying to attack it. And we do see Strono kind of coming back into action now, so all of that sort of goes down. I mean, both snipers dying there, which is rather interesting, but that's probably going to be better for weak sellers because they don't have to worry about getting sniped, but there is a sentry from Sun. It's a level 3. He's watching the point. He has so much damage done. Finally goes down, but it's really slowed down the push, and they've lost 4 players here, Domaytoe.
That Sepp was the initiator, and with Austin as well, like just blocking this point with this Uber, they basically have the same Uber again. Like Buck had like 40 or 60% ad, but it actually didn't matter in the end because they're just not playing like bravely again. And after all, I would be happy if I would be in Austin's position, because I get like 30 seconds more on the clock, and I know that the enemy team isn't brave enough right now to make work with this Uber ad. It actually allowed them to like waste 30 to 40 to 50 seconds even after they got the Uber. They probably tried to do something from top down. Extra Solar gets completely munched about. It's a solo heavy Uber onto a sentry gun. Nutricula goes down, but I have to question this kind of Uber as well. That is kind of interesting right now. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that happened. I mean, Buck goes down to Strono, so they've captured the point, but it does mean that hlpugs are going to have their respawns much quicker. Weak sellers don't have any heals. Buck is spawning now, but he's going to be a while till he regroups with his team. So I reckon, 7 seconds left on the clock. They can just strong arm this, try and get the cap, and really just force things to make weak sellers react. And that's what's happening right now. But there we go. Span's winning the 1v1 against CeeJaey there. Sun is the furthest person forward, but Austin goes down. Fire with the backstab, and they're starting to lose players here. Maybe this was the wrong decision.
Work with this healed advantage right now. Heal players, get frags, don't die. This is basically the priority you have to prioritize. Meaning, you have to call the sniper, you have to watch out for suiciders and everything, and you have to watch out that your flank isn't as open. Like, sometimes this flank is just so open that the enemy flank could fit through this. Like, Hannibal could lead his war elephants through this gap in the flank that they're just not kind of concentrating on, and they have to watch under as well. But right now it's kind of getting equal times. There's 40% advantage onto Buck, but they can't give up like so much cap time, which is not what they're doing right now. Denkwa though gets spammed down from Kazuki.
Yeah, they're getting kills here. Saka takes down Zamp, so that's not going to be an NG or a sentry to worry about. But Extra Solar, where did he come from? He takes down the medic and he takes down the sniper.
From heaven.
Big kills.
From heaven for the blue team, because it's definitely a saving grace for them. It's only Divi forward. They can kill Divi and watch out as well. Just for the sniper, this is what I always call. Just call the sniper. You're looking good shape right now. Just have Buck survive. Watch out that they don't get... Why are they bleeding these players? I don't know. It's crucial.
This is actually really looking good for hlpugs at the moment. They just need to capture the point, but
oh no,
they're bleeding a lot of players. Extra Solar being attacked, he's gunning down everyone.
It's on a 4k. It's actually going to be salvaged. He's on a 5k. Wow, that was so clutch. Extra Solar almost went down, and that would have definitely been the loss for them. But there is, I think that would be the 2-2, meaning we are going to the last round of the kind of deciding map for Wiethoofd sellers, because they have to win this to get this into the third map into product, which still is hlpugs' pick, but we've seen that they definitely do get better on King of the Hill.
Yeah, this is as close as it comes. Let's not forget this is hlpugs' pick. they chose this map, and it is currently 2-2. They are a map ahead, but Weak Sellers, if they win the next round, will be taking it to decide. Nutricula open things up though with a nice headshot onto Denkra, and that is definitely going to be something to work with for hlpugs. They're starting to walk across the point here. Strano just reflecting a little bit of stuff. Psycho's going to get spy checked, but Fire is not, and he's going to shank Demosh, and he's actually going to live and escape. So no demo for the red side. Strano launched across the map. This could go either way. So many players just getting picked off here one by one.
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure this will be quite the long mid-fight again because it's just stalling out. Right now Kazuki is trying to spam them down, gets out to drop down though. Demos does get stabbed from Denkra, so that might actually be the initiator. Kazuki though does have a really good conch, meaning they can just work with all these heals and damage. Austin does get right now, but it's completely equal exchange on the point. Austin does have to flash a lot of players though, and it's probably going to be better for Murphy and his team as they do get some frags, and it's still mid-fight, but Weethoofd are definitely going to claw this out because, well, Austin just had to flash a lot of players, and even though they had the conch, it was kind of over and they couldn't work with their flank classes anymore.
Again, this is still a mid-fight. Yeah, we're just seeing this situation where, you know, we've seen an Uber exchange and the medics are sort of getting their way towards another one. Austin does have a little bit of an advantage. If he was to push on the dot here, there may be a chance of them catching some players out. But they have to be careful, as it is going to be Weak Sellers, who actually win the mid-fight. They capture that point. Murphy goes down to Sickaz, but Fire gets a divvy. But Buck! It's gonna be Sun with the not even the rescue ranger. What's it called? The
Frontier Justice.
Thank
with
you.
the crits coming in hot like the sunny boy he is. I don't know, like it's a bit tilting for a medic,
lighting
you know?
the way for his team to victory, perhaps.
Goodness gracious, that was lit. But honestly, just saying this, CeeJaey, like, I don't know, like, it's a bit frustrating sometimes for Medic. I think that was a drop even or close to it as well. So you just have to keep your head into the game, and that might just be the crushing point for Weethoofd. They looked so good, but then an engineer comes in. An engineer of all things.
Of all things to get the medic pick, an engineer. And you take a look at what he's got set up now. Sun with a level 3 sentry. Just watching underneath, watching drop down, denying the bombers. Kazuki is a bomber, and he's going to take down Murphy because there's no sentry on the opposite side. So just kind of buying more time for his team. Austin at 100%, going to be very comfortable. But big drop from Pete, he comes in from behind and gets a drop! He gets 2! He gets Demosh and Austin, this is huge!
He gets the most crucial players in the server right now for the enemy team. He gets a demo in the medic. And they're still playing for pressure. This CeeJaey is in. There comes a hyper from the engineer, gets 5 in the air. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. He is out of the server. He's probably out of the live, and he's out of this game. After this game, maybe quit this game. Just got completely annihilated. They can be aggressive here. Like, they got so many picks. They should have just tried to focus this gun. It's right now wrangled because Sun just spawned. He's still trying to spam it through the crates, but what they can't make happen, like, give this cap time up because they still have this full Uber edge. Just they probably have to use this. Like, don't give up all this cap time. What are they doing?
They're giving a lot of cap time for free, and yeah, they use the Uber now, and it's just so close. Look how close it is. Kazuki's on the high ground. He's actually going to get some decent spam down. Strono gets a flare onto Buck, and he's very weak, and then Spams is on the lurk. He takes down the medic. He's just been lurking in behind during all of that. The cap goes down. Strono gets it. Psycho takes down Denkra, and somehow hlpugs just turn this around.
Yeah, right now they only have to kill Extra Solar, who is getting weak. There we go, from the drop-down area. Goodbye. Now Zamperoni is trying to get his dank strategies because 420 in on left, no, he's just going to back out. Fire is the only one forward right now. Kazuki is using his conch to secure the top right position. And is getting onto Murphy, so Murphy is getting early pressured again. Like, I feel like Murphy is dying a bit too fast, loose and easy, especially if they get aggressive on this point. Usually, Murphy dies from that, especially to like hit scan classes and to the scout and stuff like that. They can't allow just to lose
Psycho
their
with the
players
double headshot
to Ambassador Spy in 2019. I still have to stress this.
Hey, you know what? I have to say, last season, season 16, Toast won Prem while winning using the Ambi, and this season Zeman wins Prem running the Ambi. Maybe Ambi is still useful. Psycho here, getting some nice headshots himself, and could potentially be winning Div 1 for his team here. They have 60 seconds left on the clock, and if Weak Sellers don't stop that timer from going down, it will be hlpugs taking it in 2 maps. We'll have to see what they've got. Austin's still got 100% here. Buck at 75, he's trying to catch up. But they need to do something quick about it. Still nearly 2 minutes for Weak Sellers to get off of the clock.
Yeah, their cheeky strats are getting red, like so mega hard. Like Beast tried to do something before, he did really well, but the problem is he's getting red, as I was saying. He's trying to make something from Banana the life before, but he just got completely killed by Strono. Right now they're trying to force this forward, but they're still taking so much time. It's still this Uber exchange. You have to be forward. Don't bait your players, but they already lose their scout class. Buck is so weak. He now forces in a really passive position, and Austin isn't even touched. There comes a big Pyro jumping in onto the sniper, killing him. But on the back, but they still have to get onto this cap and kill the players.
Yeah, they're just using across the point. Extra Solar's there. He's only on the point. If he dies, that will be it. Spans can't make it in time. And hlpugs.tf will take the second map 3-2. Their map choice after winning Weak Cake Seller's choice of Badwater 2-1 earlier on. This has been as close as it gets. Essentially 2 golden caps here, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a third map because I can imagine it would have been just as close. But it will be hlpugs guaranteeing themselves a spot in Prem for Season 18 if they decide to take it. But yeah, I mean...
It was also been the better map. Well, first of all, it would have also been a better map because product, easy game. Second of all, Spence does type in chat, I take full responsibility. He does even write responsibility wrong, so I just definitely do think he takes all the responsibility. Before that, I also wanted to point out that they were like so clutchly on this point and trying to eke this out, but well, nobody did stay on the point, so that sometimes just does happen. Yeah, wheat cake sellers are basically, well, high second place medal sellers, I guess, right now. But I think it could have favored them if they would have just taken it to the third map, but they didn't. And I think it's definitely deserved for hlpugs because they just played the game Team Fortress 2 better.
Yeah, I mean, it went down the wire. It really did go down the wire. 2-1 on Badwater and 3-2 here. It really could have gone either way. There were moments there where Weak Cake Sellers looked like they were in control, but we saw medics dropping. We saw clutch headshots. We saw insane air pipes. Everything happened in that game. That is a great game of Highlander to watch. Taking a look at Domaytoe's favorite page here, the logs. Thank you to Mr. British for combining the logs for us tonight.
At my favorite classes as well. Who are the first 4 classes?
Well, it's not. It's not. We were hyping up the snipers, the demos, but it's in fact Psycho. 43 for 34. The spy for hlpugs. Top fragging in the server. Over a kill a minute for him. Nutricooler is just behind on 41 as he spans the Weak Cake Sellers Scout and Denkra on 39. So both snipers doing pretty well for their teams. And the demos, of course, top damaging, getting some decent frags, but Murphy just edging out Demosh this time with 453 to Demosh's 440. Just taking a look at the rest of the stats, pretty even across the board. I was noticing Sis at one point had about 4 dominations on the server. He only died 16 times, which was actually less than Austin, who died more than Buck. So Austin on the winning team dying 8 more times than Buck. Both
getting 3 drops as well, and Buck didn't get any.
Also, so no drops from Buck, yeah.
Yeah, also the Pyro is getting like 13 and 9 spy frags. That's really fantastic to see. But what we saw before, like Psycho getting these 8 demo picks and the 10 sniper picks definitely does help you so much on this map. And I mean, interestingly to see, CeeJaey, what you just said, like the medics medic died more and they still kind of lost that, but in the end it was really clutch, so could have really gone either way.
I said this about on Badwater though. I did say that, there were times where hlpugs were pushing, they would lose their medic, but they didn't care. That didn't phase them. They just kept on going forward and said, okay, let's take fights. Let's take it to the next level. Let's see what we can do, rather than just being like, oh, we lost our medic. Everyone sack or everyone panic, and that seemed to be what happened here. There were times where, Austin died, but then they would just push forward, and maybe Buck was staying more safe, more protected from his team, but the rest of his players weren't committing to the team fights, perhaps. I mean, it really was down to just the odd fight here and there in the end. But we're going to have some interviews here to talk to some of the players that we've been seeing here, waiting for Wiethoofd to twirl his magic fingers and bring in some of the gamers.
Medics. Fantastic.
We got both medics.
Yeah.
We've got Austin from hlpugs, and we have Buck and Zamperoni from Weak Cake Sellers. I'm going to start off by saying congratulations to Austin for winning the game. Very, very close indeed. But did you feel it was going to be that close at the start of the day when you woke up this morning? Did you think it was going to be 2-1, 3-2?
Well, I woke up and I had some ketamine ready, so it was all gonna be over then. But no, it was good. I mean, we weren't feeling too great because since our scrims over Christmas, after Christmas, sorry, we haven't been getting any wins. Basically, we've been losing all our scrims. And we like looking back on this, we were just like we aren't walking forward. No one's like getting any ground whatsoever, and people are just sitting around doing nothing. So in the idea of today, especially after our warm up game, was like I don't care what's gonna happen. We're holding W. That's it. Like it was working in our warm up, just holding W. So I was like, I don't care who dies. I'm gonna get focused, but you guys are gonna kill 7 of them, and we're gonna cap by doing that. And that's what we tried, and it seemed to work in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did work, and we sort of did talk about that, how you guys were dry pushing a lot of the time, not waiting for the Uber exchanges and just sort of just taking it by force. But starting off in the day, it was Badwater, which is obviously a payload map, totally different to the maps that you picked for your team. Did you think you were going to win Badwater? Because, you were very, very close to actually taking it 2-0, but that first round, Weekix sort of blitzed you on the attack and just managed to beat your time. But did you think Badwater would be a bit of a struggle, or did you have confidence in that map as well?
If we hadn't been performing as badly as we had on Steel, we would have banned Badwater. I think that we were worried. We were expecting to lose that 2-0. Because we, like, in our history with Bad Wars, we just can't get past the third hold. And that's where we just said, like, we've seen teams holding W through main, so we're going to adapt that strategy and just do it this game. And I think that's the only reason we managed to get the 2 rounds. But no, we were expecting to lose Badwater and then win both the Koth is what our aim was.
Okay, I'm going to bring things over to your opposing medic here. We've got Buck as well as Zamperoni. Commiserations to you guys for making it to the final, but just sort of falling at the final hurdle. Buck, I did speak to you in an interview a few days ago, I believe, when you guys won the semi-final to book your place in this final.
Yes.
You kind of said to me then you weren't sort of supremely confident, but you were just going to go in and play your game. Like, similar questions to you. Did you come in thinking, looking at the maps, looking at everyone who was available, did you think this was winnable? Did you think it would be this close, or did you think they would maybe win by a bigger margin?
To be fair, I think our Badwater could have been slightly different. Like, they had good momentum going into thirds, I really feel, and we probably could have got better times on thirds. And there were some points where we tried to come back into third, but then we kind of underestimated how fast they would just be holding W down and then coming into us. So they managed to get those third holds over, and the last holds are sometimes a bit more scrappy than they should have been. So they managed to get that kind of locked down pretty nicely. But yeah, I mean, overall it was really close, and yeah, like you were saying before, I think about the warm tick fights, things were always kind of scrappy, but then we try and change things up, try go under, try people bombing behind and stuff, but they're just kind of W strat. I noticed their NG Scout and Soldier would always kind of just hold W at the same time, and we were quite spread out often, so we weren't able to kind of negate that. So they played that really well, and I think overall it was sort of genuinely close. So it was a good game.
Zamp as well. I mean, you have Prem experience. You've played in a Prem final for Failer in the past, and the likes of Murphy as well have reached playoffs with their teams in Prem. So you could argue that maybe you had slightly more experience on your side. Did you feel that was going to be valuable today? Over the course of the season, you had that experience. Do you think it would edge you in the final, or did you still think hlpugs were going to be the favorites?
Well, I think I will be honest. Over the normal season, I was kind of inactive. I was mostly not there for scrims, especially for the things I couldn't make it since of real life stuff. But I think today I called I think the double the amount of all officials I had with wheat cake sellers today. So I was trying to help everywhere I could, and I think a lot of things we did helped quite a lot with that, honestly. But at the end it wasn't enough. I mean, both teams, I thought it was 50-50, honestly. We got completely stormed in the season from them. I can't remember which map it was. I think it was actually Badwater. But yeah, I think it was Badwater when I died to the crit stick. So I thought like this was a bad pick to go for because they instantly had like an idea for third, I guess, but they didn't use it since they just didn't need it to because they rushed us from 1 to third. This was unlucky, basically. We went to Blade out, and yeah, I mean it happens. Honestly, I didn't thought on that it was that close. Actually, I thought we get 2-0 instant, like 3-0 on warm tick. Since of the well, they have more coordination with their demo man. Honestly, I mean, you saw it on third. Like Stoner just walks in like as a sponge for the bullets and everything, while Demos is just sticking our heavy up and stuff like that. We already saw this, but it was kind of too late at this point then. So yeah, I think overall we had a great match actually. Could have been closer for my taste, at least the third map, but you know.
Fantastic. Buck, how much fun is it to drop to a Frontier Justice Engineer from drop down, from lore?
Oh, was that a drop, actually?
I don't know if it was a drop, but you definitely, I don't know if you
I remember dying
watched
to
it.
him. I don't know whether it was a drop. I can't remember.
Okay, well...
But yeah, it was, that's awareness 101 in terms of people looking at drop down or something, I guess.
Okay, hey, that's fun. Austin, how difficult is it to heal your splash damage classes and sixes classes to win a game?
I'm actually curious as to how many heals they got, but that was the reason we kind of picked Koff, is because of our sixes classes, especially Psychas and demos.
I'm especially confused how you managed to do not well on Steel if you have literally the best splash damage classes in the season. But yeah, aside from that, do you also think that it might have actually favored you that there are fewer payload maps than, well, there were literally like 2 King of the Hill maps you could ban and pick, and the enemies could only ban like that is 5 CP against you?
Well, we were actually stuck on whether to pick Upward or Product because we have quite a good history on Product, especially where we can put in consistent good results on Upward. Sorry, but it was mostly down to in the official we played against them in the main season. We didn't have our main demo. And we obviously changed our spy for the official today because Nebula's quit TF2 and our Solly, and we felt with those players they were more comfortable on Koff, so that's why we chose Product over Upward.
Brilliant. I'm gonna just broach a question. I think in general, you guys can answer as and when. I mean, I guess I'll start with Buck and Zamp. You guys finishing runners up obviously doesn't qualify you for Prem, but it would probably give you an easy spot, a higher seed in potential preseason playoffs next season. Are you guys sticking together and I'm going to try and make a bash for Prem in season 18?
I mean, I think some people probably have different plans. We might switch it around. Like, I mean, this season I've been playing Medic and we had extra on Heavy. So it's like, I've been off my main and I've been doing like okay. I mean, obviously there's like the times are like of like, you know, been dying to spy and like stuff around coordination and calls and all that stuff. But overall, I think I've done like alright. But obviously playing my main is obviously preferable and I think it's more fun for me to do that as well. So, but I think in terms of like, I think some of the flank might be staying. And I think like Denko might be staying as well, but I'll have to sort of communicate that and if we want to move forward with it.
Yeah, same here. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't stick together. It's a good team after all. Just have to, you know, edge off a bit.
Refine it.
Yeah, refine. That's sometimes all a team needs. Austin, you guys, if you stick together, are guaranteed a spot in Prem. Are you sticking together with this lineup? Was this just a one season thing, or are you going to continue? And you know, if you are, what do you think you can do in season 18?
Well, with Nebula obviously leaving and Sun no longer wanting to lead a team, it'll be down to me basically if the team will go ahead. And I wouldn't mind it. It just depends how many people leave because I know Demos is obviously quitting TF2. Psychas probably will
for like 2 months or.
Yeah, no, he's quitting for good now. He is quitting for good. And Psychas might, so we'd need the demo and a scout. But I think people want to stay, and I think we should. But I mean, apparently SO is coming back next season, so we'll just have to beat them in the final next season.
Well, it's news to me. To see what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna close things off now, and we'll move on to shoutouts. As I do believe we may have a Division 2 games. This is not the end of Highlander for the season, but for now, Austin, any shoutouts before we depart?
Oh yes, shout out to Oink5, my sis team. Gator Esports, they're gonna win Division 2 apparently. Obviously hlpugs, my team. Spans for throwing for us. Oh, and the boys, Middle, Kronk, Porky, Owls, and Nubby.
Awesome. Buck, any shout-outs from you?
Yeah, shout out to the team. I mean, this is the highest to place so far, and we broke the 3rd place curse, so that was the most important thing, I think.
Yes!
So, yeah, we got through that. Shout out to hlpugs, and shout out to the KritzKast for the cast.
And finally, Zamperoni, any shout-outs from you?
Well, of course, shout out to wheat cake sellers, to KritzKast for casting us, of course, and shout out to the German Discord, basically, and to Stallone.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you to Domaytoe and Wiethoofd for co-casting and producing this game so brilliantly. This was the Division 1 Grand Final. Wheat Cake Sellers falling just short in an incredibly close game. hlpugs will be your Season 17 Division 1 champions. You can see on the screen right now. Check us out on Twitter, Discord, on the Patreon, and also some merch available if you want to support the channel. This is enough from us tonight. We will potentially have another game tomorrow for the Division 2 final. Could potentially be casted on this channel, but if not, we will have an award show for Highlander to hand out those awards for the best players to have played in the Premiership Division from the past season. Thank you for watching. Take care and have a great night.